I occasionally have someone literally say, fuck you on the street.
Damn it.
Fucking cat.
I found a longer version of it.
Good shit.
Cowbells.
Mississippi Queen, if you know what I mean. Mississippi Queen, call me everything. Way down around Big Bird, around Louisiana way. Then a Cajun lady, called a Mississippi Queen. You know she was a dancer. Who better on what a represent you was a get that. Brother making money, now we're losing time. Mississippi Queen, if you know what I mean. Mississippi Queen, call me everything. This lady, she has me. If I would be her man, you know that I told her I would do what I can to keep her looking pretty. My Jack Jackson, what a president, you wanna get naked. You know I would get it right. You know she was a dancer. Who better on what a president, you wanna get naked. Brother, make it pocket now,
Uh, a better idea. Hey, Mo! Hey, everybody. How you guys doing?
Hello. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm wore out from fucking these dogs and everything else in life. How are you?
I am very, very, very happy.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and tell everybody why you're happy.
Hold on a second. I got to figure out what the hell's okay. So I walked out on my front porch the other day, yesterday, to smoke a cigarette.
Tell the whole
And,
story from the beginning.
oh,
Don't be
well,
like Ant.
all right. Well, I got in an argument and threw something and broke my monitor.
What kind of
a week
monitor was
ago.
it? Tell the whole story, man. You're a shitty
And
storyteller.
it was a 34-inch Alien ultra wide, and I hit it with a flower pot, by accident, and it broke. So I called some repair shops to see if I could get it fixed, and the insurance I had on it, and you
Was
can't
worth
fix
what?
the
What was your insurance worth?
shit.
So why did you pay for insurance then if you can't even get it fixed?
Well, at the time I didn't know it. I can't get that fixed, but the insurance is for other stuff besides just my monitor. But yeah, so in order to fix it, I would have had to have someone who can speak Mandarin, and lucky enough to find a company in China that actually has it, the screen and everything. And yeah, the
What's
chances
this?
of getting
Courtney
that
said
in
yes to your
America
proposal. You proposed to
are
Courtney.
zero. Who?
Look what this says.
And so then I realized that I couldn't fix it, so I threw it away, and I was upset. And my fiance said I could go buy a new one, so I went and bought the Alienware 32-inch 4K monitor, and I love this thing. This thing's badass, and it's curved.
It's like
And
mine. Only yours says
yes,
Alienware and mine says Samsung.
and then yesterday I went outside to smoke a cigarette, and on my front porch was a big ass box, another Alienware monitor. And I walked in the house and I was like, "Baby, you ordered me a monitor?" She's like, "I didn't order you nothing." She's like, "I don't even know where to go to order one." And it had no shipping label on it, and I have no idea how it got there. I did not buy it. I did not order it, but yet I got me another 34-inch Alienware monitor. I mounted it today. Nobody came to my door looking for it.
It didn't happen, man. Quit. I wouldn't even talk about it like that. I just say fuck it. Because once you
So
get it
I'm doing
and it's
fucking
shipped to you,
wonderful.
it's yours. I hope you realize that. If somebody ships
Yeah.
something to you,
So yeah, I'm ecstatic. I got a free monitor. It was like $1,000 monitor.
Jack says, "What are you gonna do with the 32?" He's keeping them both, Jack.
I
He's got
used
them
the
mounted.
32 for gaming, and the
Look at
34 is
the
2K. The 32 is 4K.
if you look in the Discord, Jack, he's got a picture of it up.
Yeah, there's a picture of my setup in there. The
Rebels
34 inch
wants
is
to know if
on top.
Hargraves sent it to you. I told him maybe somebody sent it to him that heard his
If
story, and
they did, I don't know. I have no idea where it came from. I really honestly don't.
Hey, Rebels.
But I'm happy that it did. Hello, Rebels. So yeah, I'm stoked about that.
So you're gonna quit throwing shit around when you get mad?
Yeah, I need to, for sure.
I mean,
Don't solve anything.
when I was like 13 and 14, I used to wreck my own shit. Then I realized that's not very smart. You got to pay to replace it,
Yeah,
right?
right? That's true.
Mo says maybe Ant wanted you to hold on to it for him while he's back in rehab.
Yeah,
That's got to be the only reason why he's gone. Because I didn't even get no drunk calls from him lately. Maybe.
right?
All right. So we're going to start out with some CG drama bullshit. So you seen where Fragaboom was on the EVS stream? Everybody was talking about it last week.
Yes.
And then he came out with this. And this is supposed to be Coach and fucking Shane Davis in front of the
Alrighty.
pizza parlor that EVS supposedly gives blowjobs at. Right? I mean, this is
Yeah,
like
that is.
he's burning his bridges. He's like, fuck this, I'm out.
Sounds
then he-
like it.
Look at this one that he came out with. Yeah, look what Jack said. Holy shit, your setup looks like NASA exploded. He's got the fucking what's that
Jack
in rat's name? Asman.
Asmongold.
Yeah, you got his computer.
Yeah, I got one of the Star
Knew
Force
him when he was just a
computers.
little fucking toothless rat.
Yeah, we used to play. I was in his guild, one of his guilds with him in the World of Warcraft for a while.
So then everybody was on Liam's stream earlier for like fucking 4 hours, and they didn't even catch on to this. They were covering everything else but this. Hey, Timmy.
He's
It's
number
straight
one
up.
streamer on Twitch now.
Yeah, good for him. But check this out, though. He's put all the money for his book in escrow. No more refunds.
That's fucked up.
And nobody even fucking mentioned it. Isn't that weird? So the same time he's fucking attacking CG, he's putting his shit fucking on private, like fucking. And then he comes out with, you ever see A Bug's Life?
Yeah,
Yeah, well, don't you get it? That's supposed to be EBS.
right.
Then he comes out with this weird ass shit.
1, 2, 3, throat goat! Kids, on the count of 3, say throat goat.
Throat goat.
1, 2, 3, throat goat! Kids, on the count of 3, say throat goat.
Throat goat.
Did you see that?
Yeah,
It's got the little
Girl in the
kids pretending
background.
they're giving head.
Yeah.
That is fucking sick. Yeah, well, you don't have your little fucking kids do it though, Timmy, or pretend like they're giving fucking head. I mean, and everybody's saying that. I was so offended by your behavior that I'm taking this opportunity to tell you that if I ever see you in real life at a convention or on the street, I will assault you, preferably breaking your nose. If you think this is an affectionate threat, good luck, fucker. You're blocked. People
damn.
lost their minds because of this. And then check this shit out. This is even worse, man.
18.
Okay, let's back this up.
And he was 22. And
I'll just
so-
let
It's the time it took.
I was out hanging out.
Hey, hell, dear.
She had to come pick me up because I was 15. And he was 22.
She was 15
Fuck.
and he was 22.
That's sick.
Ain't it? And then somebody said, "You are a faggot." Bye, Danny boy. Fuck. And then
Fucked up.
Edwin Boyette even jumped in. He did the fully articulated throat goat. And a bunch of words that don't mean shit because Edwin Boyette's a retard. And then people are giving his own words back to him. Customers are gold. Creators are gold. And this is when you'll see who your true friends and fans are. People's actions will always speak louder than any words they can ever say. And Fregaboom says, amen. People's actions always speak louder than any words they can ever say. And he just fucked up. Finish your fucking book, ship it, and let every one of us forget that you ever existed. Enjoy your legacy. I have to imagine that nice guy act yours was exhausting to try and keep up. Dan just wants unity, gang. He took a minute off from teaching his kids how to suck dick to remind us all of that. Did you have to sign a sell your soul contract to Disney? Or did your demonic possession happen without your signature? Chris Stanley says, oh, snap. You're a sick fuck, Dan, says Crusader Joe. Earth of Mind, this is somebody from old school. I guess you'll draw anything but your book. Also, why'd you teach your kids how to suck dicks? It seems really gross or worse. Good job leading the way, Dan. This carries on. Maybe something happened during the surgery that affected the brain. Fuck him after that bullshit he pulled using his children as props.
Dang it.
Hey, Timmy.
Hey, how's it going?
Yo, Tim.
Just covering all the CG bullshit before we move forward. Because it ain't going to be all about them. We hate their bullshit. We just want to laugh at them for a minute.
Yeah, I saw that video this when I was working. I thought that's not a good look for him.
No, and then when he posted this first one with Mange and fucking Coach waiting in the street to get a blowjob from EBS, I'm the first comment, and I said, I bet they're waiting for their book.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, everybody started laughing at EVS, and now this stuff comes out like this is getting weird.
That's his computer.
That's my setup.
Oh, that's a nice setup.
The top computer's a 30 or monitor is Alienware 34-inch. And
Tell him what the
then-
nurse said.
Who?
The nurse that came to see Cindy, what she said.
And she asked me what I did. I'm like, I stream and I'm a gamer.
Man, bitch.
I'm a disabled veteran, so that's where I spend most of my time.
Where I
My time
murder
around the house.
fucking digital aliens.
Digital
Yeah,
aliens.
my
That's the
setup.
way to. That's the way to go.
My shit's like half that, but I'm working on mine.
Yeah, I think I kind of missed parts of what was going on. I just because I was working.
What with
Fragaboom.
well, what happened was he went on EBS's and fucking was sticking up for all the Dungeoneers, and
Right,
then-
I know that part.
but nobody even really knows the truth of the Dungeoneers because I've heard it from their mouths. That was just a fucking stupid bar. There was one guy in there that was fucking acting weird, and it was fucking Cecil's idea to go there, and there were a
Thank you,
bunch of
Mo.
other people there besides the people they pointed
Yeah.
out and picked
Malin
on.
was there. I heard.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you,
what the
Grim.
fuck? And Cecil. It was Cecil's idea to go there. Did you know
Right.
that?
Yep, but
This
they're
shit's all fake. I'm
That's
just tired of the
crazy.
fake bullshit.
but
They're
they're
gayer than a
they're-
bunch of fucking women watching soap operas.
yeah. But the excuse I guess they were giving was, well, it's Cecil. That's not a reason for anything.
No, but I think they were just all looking for excuses. And then, you know what? You should have left before if that's the way you felt. You didn't have to do all the drama. Just go. You don't have to slam the door and act like a drama bitch when you go. And then that, everybody likes that one chick. What's her name? That Fragaboom was sticking up for. Not, fuck. The one who did
Rainey.
the book. Rainey.
Rainey?
Remember
Yeah.
what she did to that one retard? She had him come all the way to her house and then act like she didn't even know him. And then
I heard that's BS. I'm not sure.
I think it was both of them because I didn't like either one of them back then.
Oh.
I mean, how the fuck did he know where she lived unless she told him? Think about that. Allie told me about the shit, and so did a couple other people that were there. And then it wasn't nothing that anybody said it was, that they blew it all up. She even came on the Risey's show, Allie, and I think Phil did too, and told us the truth.
I heard it's overblown too, but I think it's because EVS doesn't like him. So
Well, so what? Then you make up a bunch of bullshit and kick them out?
yeah, they run these narratives all the time.
Well, fuck them and their gay narratives. I mean, how the fuck do you
Exactly.
run a business like that?
I don't
Seriously.
know. I thought it was just about
Oh,
making
crazy.
books.
No, this ain't nothing about making books anymore. It's about drama farming on
Yeah.
the internet.
Yeah.
They
could
got
be the
more
biggest
drama than
dickhead.
anybody. Yeah.
Here's somebody who does books like you and doesn't fuck around.
Roach balls.
Roach balls, bitch. Roach balls.
Yeah.
Roach balls.
He's doing another book too, man. About what the fuck is it? Hold on, it'll come to me. It's pretty self-explanatory. What the fuck is that guy's name? Blah blah blah. My mind's gone. Cherub Gundam Man. Gigantic Gundam Man.
Oh, he's doing some kind of like manga-inspired story.
Yeah, and he's doing Roach Balls.
I really need to pick up the first one.
I like the Alien Hockey Game too show, but I don't know why they don't even get along anymore. I mean, that was weird how that went down.
Regardless, I still want to pick up copies of Fiendish.
Yeah, Ultraman Oz, that's what it is. I kept fucking.
I still would like to be able to pick up some copies of Fiendish.
Hargrave's got him. You can have him. He thinks that book sucked balls. He's like, there ain't no story in it, and then she blew it all up and got me to buy it. Tongue's probably gonna get his truck. Here's some pie.
There you go.
Back in the day when you didn't have to worry, check for oil sticks. Man, what happened? And then Hooters, you heard about Hooters going out of business, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I
Did
heard they made a stupid business model that didn't work.
Yeah, they got a bunch of fat, ugly chicks. Who the fuck wants to see that shit? Right?
Yep.
You want to share your shit,
That's
Mossy, before we
very
move forward?
Yeah, hold on a sec.
Oh, and 50 more Democrats just posted some more exact same bullshit.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, after the 40 something did it, and then remember when they all did all the same fucking video? Well, now they're all posting the exact same things on X and on Blue Sky.
Gosh,
Here
It's
you
like
go.
they're retarded.
they're just desperate. They're just desperate.
Alien Enemy Act
8 or more?
1798. Invocation of the Alien Enemies Act regarding the invasion of the United States by Tren de Aragua. Oh my God. Bro, he's bringing back the old text. This is nuts. What does it do? I don't know. It makes him do it. This will allow him to speed up mass deportations of violent, criminal, illegal aliens. He's declaring an invasion by Tren de Aragua, grants expanded authority for the apprehension and deportations. Oh, fuck. How should Mexico respond? Probably by saying thank you. I mean, wouldn't they want to have these people? I mean, there's a lot of Mexicans living in America. And if this is a violent gang from Venezuela, wouldn't it be in Mexico's best interest that we'd be getting rid of these people? Yeah, I would say. Allows the president to detain or remove non-citizen males aged 14 and above from enemy countries during wartime with additional powers for non-compliant citizens. It's passed during tensions with France and has been used in conflicts like World War II. Oh, yeah, with the Japanese. I remember that one. Are we going to get internment camps too? Already have them. We've already got them, guys. That's Guantanamo Bay. That's why they're putting it in there. That was the whole point, man. Yeah, that's it.
We have time.
Lucas Tomlinson is at the White House for us with the latest on those strikes. Lucas.
John, these are the most significant airstrikes since President Trump
did you hear
returned
about
to the White House.
Did you hear about the airstrikes?
Oh, yeah, on Loopy and those guys. They're all dead. Everybody drink a glass for Loopy. Rest in peace, Loopy.
And the first time U.S. jets have struck these Iranian-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen since President Trump returned to the White House. U.S. officials say F-18 Super Hornets from the flight deck of the USS Harry S. Truman were the vanguard of the strikes, along with Air Force fighter jets and drones. President Trump announcing the strikes just a few minutes ago on his Truth Social, saying, quote, Joe,
He
today
fired
I've
up, yeah.
ordered the
He ready
United
to pop
States
off.
military to launch decisive and powerful military action against the Houthi terrorists in Yemen. They have waged an unrelenting
From
campaign of
one piece to a couple dozen pieces.
That's a
I
good
just
one.
read that on. Yeah, I didn't say that.
piracy, violence, and terrorism.
Yeah, he did a strike. Let me see if there's oh, dude.
Officers.
Wow.
The Houthis are backed by Iran. Many consider them modern-day Barbary pirates. Since
Jesus.
the October 7th massacre, they have launched over 100
What the
attacks against
fuck?
commercial shipping.
That's a
US
commercial ship. This is what these people did? They just blew up a fucking ship? Well, fuck that.
Since the October 7th
Fuck
massacre,
that.
they have launched over 100 attacks against commercial shipping. U.S. warships also came into the crosshairs of the Houthis dozens of times in recent years. The
Hell, it
Houthis launched
is.
anti-ship ballistic missiles and crude drones at the American warships. None were successful and all were shot down. And just a few days ago,
Listen to that again.
dozens of times in recent years, the Houthis launched anti-ship ballistic missiles and crude drones at the American warships. None were successful and all were
Obviously, a bunch of rinky-dink pirate cosplayers are not going to be able to outmaneuver a fucking aircraft carrier. Wow.
Oops.
What a shock.
shot down. And just a few days ago, Houthis leader said attacks would resume against shipping in the Red Sea, and including Israeli ships. Now, General Kurilla, the head of U.S. forces in the Middle East, has been itching to launch these strikes to reopen those vital shipping lanes and destroy Iran's proxy force in Yemen. Kurilla ordered Truman, the U.S. Navy aircraft carrier, back to the Red Sea late last month to be prepared to launch these strikes. And those Super Hornets, as you can see there. Now, last month, the Houthis launched surface-to-air missiles at an Air Force F-16 orbiting overhead.
So they're launching missiles at us? What the fuck are we doing?
He don't know fuck
'cause
about
the thing
war.
Is that I would understand if they were fighting back if we're occupying their land. But the reality is that the reason why this is happening is because they're attacking cargo ships. They're attacking fucking cargo ships. They're attacking ships. What is this? I don't know what to say. You mean chucking pebbles? Yeah, terrorists? Yeah, exactly. And our warships? Yeah, exactly. This would be like me
American
soloing
Reaper
Ragnaros.
drone.
Yeah, it's
and
not
John,
going to
it's
happen.
not just in Yemen where U.S. forces have been engaged. Last night, President Trump announced the #2 leader in ISIS had been killed in American drone strike. We have some video footage, as you can see there. That
forgot about
happened
that.
in Western Iraq
That's what I wanted to
yesterday.
talk about.
And John,
I just love how these people, like, these are people that they're like still using like AK-47s and they're driving around in like trucks made in the 90s that have an
jealous.
extra few pieces of metal on them. And like, you think you're going to beat a fucking satellite? Like, there's like 7 satellites that are like cross-referencing your location with like fucking precision guided missiles. How do you think this is going to go?
This is the aircraft.
That's what I wanted to show on that one. Here you go. Have you seen the new trailer for the Path of Exile?
No,
The
go
new
ahead.
update?
Show whatever you
Path
got,
of
and I'll go
Exile
back
2.
to my shit.
Spirit guide us. We, the mountain born.
This is why I play it on mute.
A new hunt dawns.
Oh, that's a hunter.
Yeah.
That looks kind of cool. No lie.
It's a cool ass game for free.
Yeah, it's fun. It's
Uh,
pay early access, $30 minimum fee, but when it does release full game, it's going to release as a free game.
Yeah. This is the new page for my for Melvin.
Let Timmy chill for a second. Pull that down, and I'll pull that up.
Just showing the new page from Melvin issue 4.
There you go.
Hold on. There it goes.
Got it.
See, look how cool that is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
It looks good.
Houthis be stupid as fuck, says Jack. You got anything else?
That's about it, really.
No, I meant Mossy.
This is the one. Let's see. I think this was not that. This 4 days ago. Let me see.
Hey, Shep, the
major up.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say the reason why I find the EVS thing funny is because he trashed my book just like a. Like
Well, what do you want? You're on the other side, so that's how he
Yeah.
plays it. There's good cop, bad cop. That's how they play it.
So
I
well,
got-
just shortly after this whole thing came out, I'm like, oh well, it doesn't matter what you think of me. You went to a pizza place.
Oh, you said that to him?
No, that's what I think. It's like it doesn't
Oh, he
matter
blocked me as soon as this shit started popping up a little while ago.
Oh yeah.
A couple weeks ago. I said something on the show about it and showed him blocked me, and I was like the last one left. He blocked Hargrave like back last year and Rising, those guys a long time ago.
No, that's why I think it's funny.
I think he's sad.
It's,
You could have
it
fucking.
really-
It's like taking a money printer and wrecking it. You know what I mean? Throwing it in a lake.
Yep. And all
I
he
think
has,
that's stupid.
all
as
he had to
fuck.
do was deliver on his books, and his life would have been fine.
I don't know, man. I get it to where I regulate it. I only do it like when I got free time.
Right.
Mossy fucking jams it. That's why he's like 10 levels ahead of me.
Yeah, I'm 70, almost 75.
Then you're not that far ahead. I'm almost 69.
There you go. Yeah, I haven't played it in the last few days.
But it is a cool fucking game, man. It flows. And once you
Yeah,
get
it's
good,
fun.
shit, just you blow everybody up on the board. Bam!
Yeah, you become like a god once you get in.
But you're
game
always
and stuff.
struggling, though. There's always people as strong as you around fucking you up. Because that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
hard part. Because once you get that good, you're not paying attention. And then the next thing you know, you're fucking dead because some asshole just creamed you.
They also got what they call like soft core, which if you die, you can come back. You can trade with other players. It's a currency thing, like not an auction house, but there's an off-site auction house out of the game on another website. And
You got to be careful on
then
that. That thing's a rip off.
then there's solo self-found, which means it's like playing a one-player game. And then there's hardcore.
Yeah,
which
if you
has
die, you're
trade,
done.
which has trade in it and stuff like that. But if you die, your character's deleted, and everything
And
they
then
had, they're deleted.
we can play co-op too, and then the people are harder
Yeah.
and more shit drops too.
Yeah, you can play multiplayer, and then there's also
Credit though.
hardcore
One-
solo self-found, which is if you die, you dead, and you can't trade with nobody.
Yeah, but when you play co-op, only one person gets the fucking experience.
Yeah, whoever starts whatever event it might be. Like if you're gonna go run a tower or something, or run a map together, whoever puts the map the waystone inside the thing to open up the portals to go there, they get pretty much all the credit. So you got to rotate. One person does one, and then another person does one, and so you can help each other out. But a lot more better loot drops. A lot more better. Yeah, it sounds intelligent. A lot of better loot drops when you're in a group.
I
or a
got
party than
two
when
more
you're
the
solo.
orange pieces too. Did I tell you?
They do.
Yeah, I got another set of armor and another helm.
Yeah, I've gotten a bunch to drop now that I've been the maps. I got like.
No, I mean
7
I'm
or
not
8
even to the
different
end game
shit.
yet, and they're dropping shit on me. I got three stones now for the end game. One's all the way maxed out, and the other two, one's fucked up, man. It's got like 25% speed for the monsters, 25% more monsters, 25 less health regeneration for me, but I don't use health regeneration that hard, so that ain't gonna bother me. But they're gonna be hard to kill on that board. But all my shit for the generation on there, at the top number, it's over 200.
Sweet.
Yeah, so I got some nice stones already. I gotta jack through the end of it. I'm at the end right now.
I got
The
you.
last part 3. I just killed fucking
Right.
Wiggle. Motherfucking Wiggle killed me again for another hour. I was like, you motherfucker.
The bosses are unforgiving.
They're bitches, man. And then once you get their clue, though, man, they ain't that hard. But then when you go the second time around, they're even harder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not as hard as the first time.
So, like, what the difficulty level of each boss increases when you fight them again?
Yeah, what it is, it's got like
No.
level 1, 2, and 3, and
Right.
then it's got like an end game. But since they don't have nothing, like they're supposed to be 4, 5, and 6 for levels, they just
Well,
have you do 1, 2, and 3 over again harder.
It's acts it's parts of the storyline, and it's acts 1, 2, 3, and it's supposed to be, like you said, 6, but they only released 3 so far.
Yeah, like
Then
we're
you
like
go
it's
to end game, and it's like a never-ending atlas.
where you
And
just pick shit up. It's almost like a fucking
there's little
farm.
nodes. There's nodes on the map.
That's where Eli got fucked up because he didn't know even how to fucking go through them. And he had awesome equipment. He was bitching about the level. And it doesn't got shit to do with the level. It's got to do with what's on your equipment. You know what I mean? And then you fucking
Yeah.
corrupt it, and I corrupted my fucking crossbow, and it went up to fucking 100 fucking physical on it. And it already
Give me a
was,
second.
and it already was like 175, so it went up to like 275 physical. That crossbow just one hit, and people just fall over dead. Bam.
I suppose you get bonuses or something on your weapons.
On what?
Did you get any kind of bonus on your weapons or anything?
Yeah, you got to add shit. They got like rune stones you add onto it, and all kinds of shit. And then you got a tree you got to fill out to get even more hyped up. You know what I mean? It's pretty much like any other RPG.
Right.
I'm going to show you what the
you can
in-game
upgrade
map is.
you can upgrade your weapons. I get it.
Oh, yeah.
You upgrade your weapons, your armor.
And then they got more advanced weapons that drop later on, and you pick them up and you upgrade them, and then.
Wrong character.
But it's a gamble, man. When you're doing this fucking system of doing shit, it's pretty much a gamble. I've bricked as much stuff as I've made awesome. Because it's a
right
gamble.
now the way they do the crafting
the
is
cool
more of a
loading
random.
screen.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it is.
basically that's where you're at. You're hanging out with these dudes, and they eat mushrooms and shit, and they're all crazy as fuck.
This
They're all
is like the
inbred.
last area.
Yeah, I already been here.
You get these stones. Let's see if I have any right now. This is level 5, but you get to one of these.
I see.
And this is
It's
the
probably
in-game
burning.
map. You go here. See, this is the in-game atlas. And each one of these nodes, you can do it. It's a map.
Yeah, but they got to be connected where
And
you start.
I started here where the
Right.
house thing's at. And I've worked my way over to here so far. And you do these towers, you unlock the towers, and you can put stuff in them that'll bonus. Like, see that one, I can put something in this one, but I don't have anything right now.
Oh.
And it gives you a bonus. If you see the circle, the orange circles around those towers out a distance away, that's how far out they affect the maps.
That
So,
map
like
almost
this
looks
one-
like. Sorry. I was gonna say it almost kind of reminds me of World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I used to play World of Warcraft for years. But yeah, this is what it is. And then you run one of these nodes, like I'd click on this and you put this in here, and this one's going to give me 59% increase in rarity items found. And you would hit traverse. And then you run that map.
And you only
and
get
just
one
keep
shot at
unlocking
it.
stuff.
Each one of those stones is only one shot.
Well,
You don't
you
get to
can
go
run it
back in there.
again, but if there's any bonuses, like if there's a map boss, any of the special effects that would be on that map, if you die the first time running it, all that stuff disappears. You can run the map again, but you just won't get any of that bonus stuff. That bonus stuff won't be there, which gives you potential to have better drops and stuff like that.
Well, then I would just get 3 of them and put them inside the thing and fucking churn them. You know that?
Yeah.
By the time you get there, man, you better be ready.
And you can juice the maps up as those stones, the stone that I put in there to unlock this map, you can upgrade them too.
Yeah, I upgraded 2 of mine so far. The other one's too fucked up to upgrade. I'm just gonna keep it low.
This is actually an archer.
Wow, that looks fun actually. No lie.
This is
It's a
Path
cool
of
game.
Exile too.
I was shocked by how cool it was. And it's fucking free.
Yeah. You can zoom in.
Yeah, I guess that's true. He did do a long stream last night.
That's a rare.
Yeah, well, they fight twice as hard, them fuckheads. And then I got these special shoes on that if you're low on health, better shit falls. So I'm constantly
really?
fucking walking around half dead fighting these people. Yeah. Well, you get better shit. So sometimes I'll walk right up to them, let them hit me first.
Another rare. They drop better shit.
Well, they supposedly on the upgrade, it's supposed to be putting more special guys on here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's supposed to be more of them per map because I guess before there weren't. All right, let's move forward.
All right, man.
Cool.
But yeah, that's Path of Exile too. Gives you a gist of what it's about.
It's an awesome game, man. I'm hooked. I play it all the time. Okay, we're gonna start with this. This senator said Mr. instead of Mrs. to this
I now
tranny.
recognize the representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ranking Member Keating, also wonderful.
Mr.
I'm
Chairman,
sorry.
could you repeat your introduction again, please?
Yes, we have set the
Representative.
standard on the floor of the House, and I'm simply.
What is that standard, Mr. Chairman?
the
Would you
standard-
repeat what you just said when
I-
you introduced a duly elected representative from the United States of America? Please.
I will. The representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Mr. Chairman, you are out of order.
Oh God,
Mr.
shut
Chairman,
up.
have you no decency? I
We
mean,
will- we will-
I've come to know you a
Clutch
little
your
bit, but this
pearls.
is not decent.
This
You
hearing-
will not continue it with me unless you introduce a duly elected representative the right way.
Oh, House of Representatives.
This hearing is adjourned.
Bye.
See ya.
Fuck you.
I now recognize.
See ya.
He should his response should be, well, I got these nuts.
Yeah, I know. So you want to hear something fucking crazy? The Maui police chief who gave the order to trap victims in the fire has now been named as co-conspirator in the Diddy case. He also
Oh,
just happened
jeez.
to be the fucking chief commander during the Las Vegas shooting.
Really?
Yeah, isn't that fucking insane? This guy, he just fucking goes around shitting everywhere, it looks like.
So he has connections to Diddy, huh?
Yeah, it looks like that he's co-conspirator and they fucking named him. Tell me that ain't nuts.
Crazy.
That is nuts.
Yeah, Mike Flynn's saying that this bitch better start issuing arrest warrants. And I guess that Kash Patel said today he is issuing arrest warrants for all the USDA employees who are shredding documents and the people who are at the top. He's going to arrest them, he's saying.
I guess,
And fuck him.
I guess shit's about to get real.
Yeah. And fuck yeah, that's George Soros behind all this bullshit. You know? And we got this crazy bitch.
Well, just look at her. She looks crazy.
She looks fucking hot, don't she?
I heard about the incident.
Nope.
In front of the White House. Rest in peace. All the.
Yeah, that
things.
guy got shot. Did you hear about that?
This is the
No.
energy.
Some guy came up on the White House and they shot the
Let's
shit out of him.
Flood the system and see what happens.
Huh?
Like Okay,
That's
I'm
what
here for
happens.
it. All right.
Well, these
I heard
retards
about
are
the
saying
incident
flood the
in front of
system.
White
They're all going to
House.
come running at
Rest
us
in
at
peace,
once.
all the things.
Retards.
It's a lot of funerals.
Yeah. This is going to be in Beckoned and their supplemental in the next book. This is some
wow.
cat. He's going to be having it. Yeah, I don't know if you're down with Jeremy. He's fucking shit.
I've heard about that series.
The drawing thing, and he fucked him over. Because I mean, he killed EVS in that drawing stream, didn't he, Mom?
You talking
Yeah.
about was it Zayd?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Zayd should have won that, hands down.
Yeah.
Oh, of course he should have.
Yeah, but his name's Jeremy.
Yeah, he's a damn good artist.
He's the shit. We've been into him since fucking day one, haven't we?
Yeah.
That was the closest thing to old school Spawn I have seen from anybody.
Yeah. You're right about that.
We'll cover this some other time. This is about the Jewish telemod. I guess former member of Fisker's Speakers Bureau has agreed to plead guilty to taking dozens of research studies that were published in medical journals, faking them. So I guess all that coof bullshit, all that medicine that they're getting everybody to take is all bullshit.
Well, yeah. One day we were dealing with it, and then all of a sudden it just disappears.
I heard stories about it before. I knew better than to take it. I was like, fuck that. Last thing I'm that shit. You know, we got Jake Tapeworm here, this piece of shit. The guy who wrote a book about Joe Biden being crazy after he covered for him all the years. You know that?
Really?
Yeah, he covered for Joe Biden saying he's the sharpest I ever seen him.
Oh, I think I
Right.
that. Yeah.
Now he's got a book coming out with this other piece of shit bitch saying about how it was stupid for Joe Biden to do what he did. He helped it go along. You know what I mean? Fuck him in that
Post
book.
reported that the freeze on U.S. foreign assistance in Africa. Are you concerned about them at all?
Is that the same Washington Post that propagated the Russia collusion hoax for the last 8 years?
Well, regardless of the Russia.
No, not regardless. You're quoting the Washington Post to me. I really couldn't care less what the Washington Post or the New York Times says, especially when it's anonymous government officials. If it's true, put your name to it. If it's not, shut up.
Good shit.
It's not. Shut up. I covered for Biden and I wrote a book about it, Tapper. That piece of shit. He needs to be locked the fuck up with the rest of the crooks. You're going to love this before we move on to some more dark shit.
This is my pet duck, Adam, going for his first swim. Be careful, Adam. Adam!
Adam!
Last seen, it is your last chance. Adam took it very seriously. This escape was Adam's once in a lifetime opportunity. The escape of the century. That was very funny. He ran away like saying, I'm free. Act cool, can't ruin this opportunity. Adam to himself, probably. Bad employee leaving the company. My heart is with her. Adam has gone to find Eve. No worries, he may return with a family. Adam went in search of Eve. Run, Forrest, run, she's crazy. Adam, got me rolling. Adam was so desperate to run away that he was literally running on.
Jake wants to know if you got snow. Oh, Eric.
Adam is still running. This duck had a secret turbo engine.
He did run on water. That was hilarious.
Adam, freedom, I got freedom from my madam. Adam, thank God I finally got away from that crazy woman. Adam swims like a cartoon character runs. Adam knew this was his only chance. I've seen this clip 1,000 times, never get bored. The calmness of Adam before the storm. Adam Adam been waiting for this moment since he was born. Adam said, I'm getting the duck out of here. He became the road runner on water. Adam takes off like a road runner.
He did fly.
Adam was tired of your hot breath. It's not a pet, it's a jet. Adam said, I'm free at last. He never looked behind after that. Rose the Flash and never looked back. Adam was taking secret swimming lessons for the day. Adam was ready to get away. Adam reached the ocean in 1 minute. Adam went supersonic. Adam is qualified for the Olympics. Adam dipped out. That's
Adam dipped.
Bro. Check it out. Running out, peace out.
I love this, man. He's like, woo!
Like a fucking motor.
He gone.
It looks like a little remote control boat.
Oh, this next one. Watch this shit.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that's cutting grass.
Right?
Doing the level 1 side missions with level 100 tools. This is the kind of content I want to see on YouTube. So that's how a scythe is actually used. Grass, what are you, this woman, death? Don't worry, guys, she's just grinding out her side quest. Sister Freda grinding for that legendary frozen side. This is
It's like World of Warcraft side quest.
He hates shit. At least she ain't chopping wood, right?
Right?
Woman, cutting grass here comments. I diagnose you with
So he makes songs out of comments on.
neighbor who won't stop showing off his riding lawnmower.
Oh shit.
To be the strongest scythe user, you must cut all the grass first. Even Grim Reaper's got bills to pay. It ain't easy for anyone out here. Everyone gangster until she puts that scythe across her shoulder. This seems drastically more entertaining than a lawnmower. The Grim Reaper and that kids is how I met your mother. Interviewer, so what do you like to do in your free time, Grim Reaper? Grim Reaper, so guys, this is my wife Nancy. She is an expert. She makes it look easy. What's she doing? She's beginning to believe someone using a scythe for its intended purpose. Blasphemy! This is like the opening scene to a horror movie. Imagine how satisfying this must be. A scythe of relief. She is probably just training for next Karate Kid movie.
I love that one.
The guy
Cobra
who
Kai.
invented the scythe knew that what he was making was badass. When you're the Grim Reaper, but you still have to cut the grass.
Jack says, is that Lorena Bobbitt?
This
Yeah.
weekend,
Your pecker.
down the lawn a little. Whole different meaning back then. Final boss before battle. She could be a mini boss in Resident Evil. This is the first time I've seen
She does that all the time. I wouldn't want to piss her off with that thing in her hand.
She knows what she's fucking doing.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, what did you say?
You cut your feet off.
Oh yeah, man. Could you imagine that? You would be fucked.
Do you think she'd be coming at your head? Next thing you know, you're falling on the ground.
Feet are gone.
Yeah.
I'm sure she says that's what I thought a lot. She goes, yeah, that's what I thought.
12 million people interested.
Hail Aaron.
How to cut grass. Google, use a lawnmower. Bing. Imagine accidentally walking into her attack range just as she takes another swing.
Yeah, that's what you just said, Mossy, man. You'd be
Emperor
fucked.
Palpatine
Yeah.
was a little-known senator from Naboo, small
Yeah,
planet.
we'll do this.
He finances
Hey,
terrorists
Eric.
to attack the planet. And then he plays victim and says that the pacifist republic isn't doing enough to help him with the terrorist invasion, the Trade Federation invasion, who even speak in Chinese accents. It's all geopolitical. He then goes and catapults himself into the role of chancellor. Episode 2, launches terror attacks all over the galaxy with groups he's secretly financing through his backers. In the Trade Federation, he turns around double crosses in the end, which always happens. Nazi Germany, Soviet Russia, Maoist China, learn from history. And now he's got this big imperial army to counter this outside
Alex
threat run
Jones.
by Count Dooku, the Osama bin
Yeah.
Laden guy that actually works for him, and they meet in secret. In episode 3, he launches
explaining Star
an
Wars.
attack on the imperial capital himself. He launches an attack on New York. And in the end, he then sets up the Jedi and says they're terrorists, and
Look
has
at
the
fucking
anti-terror
Yoda.
forces go in and wipe them out to bring peace. Now, the media
Oh, that was great.
could not understand. Adults cannot understand children level ideas. Okay? Child level ideas. Child level. How can you not understand it?
How can you not? So I guess we'll cover Gavin Newsom, then we'll go to the Russian gas pipe people, because that shit is crazy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
All right, we'll cover Gavin first. He's such a fucking loser.
Gavin Newsom. He's another beauty. Oh, we're doing great in the state. Everyone's leaving. We're doing great.
Let me pull a few more threads. You said
Check out his
2020
hand shit.
is when you started to see the Democrats sort of advance this notion of wokeism.
It's when the awakening
really started.
I hate
What was it?
Charlie
You know what I'm
Kirk.
talking about.
No, but so is it? Yes, the Latinx stuff. By the way, not one person ever in my office has ever used the word Latinx. I'm
So can we
what
find
the-
Just you.
that
Yeah,
we
what the-
agree?
but where did that even?
No
go?
more
I'm like,
Latinx, everybody.
Well, I just didn't even know where it came from. I'm like, what are people talking about?
It's funny you should say that because
Sounds like a mutant superhero.
Watch. COVID-19 disproportionately impacts the Latinx community. He's the motherfucker who used it.
Yeah.
And you know what happened? This little bitch made a bust of him as the mayor of San Francisco, and he paid for it himself, but he hid it behind a fucking a charity thing that he paid for. Can you imagine that?
Fraudulent.
He's a fraudulent piece of shit. Anybody who votes for him for president's a piece of shit too, because he's gonna run.
Oh
That's his
no.
thing. That's why he just had Charlie Kirk, Mr. Asshole Mouth, motherfucker. You know what Charlie Kirk said? He said that America is just a placeholder for Israel, and that we only exist to keep Israel safe. Do you believe that shit?
Wow.
That seems strange to say.
It's what do you expect from a Jew grifter fuck?
You know that, well, we have
This
seen
shit out. He's
some
gonna
episodes
body
of,
analyze Mr.
Gavin
Yanafui.
Newsom in his
He's gonna
new
check out.
podcast, and the first thing that comes to mind is, of course, his rebranding. But now we have a clip, a very short clip of him interacting with Steve Bannon, in which we're going to see
Steve
two
Bannon's
things.
gonna run
First,
for
his body
president.
language,
I'm
how it
gonna vote
goes.
for him if he
Well,
does.
and I appreciate the notion of agency that we're not bystanders in the world. It's decisions, not conditions, that determine our fate
What
and
the
future.
fuck
and
is wrong with this
that fundamental
guy?
notion of agency, I think,
Is he
is important
insane?
more
What's with this
broadly.
hand?
And I
Yeah.
think that goes to some
Oh,
of the
no,
issues
They don't even
around
have nothing to do with what the fuck he's
victimization.
saying,
And I
dude.
see a lot of that, respectively, on the right, increasingly, even with Trump often approaching things from that sort of mindset.
What do you mean?
Okay, we saw some crazy body language in there, but there's another thing that we need to address. And they were talking about, at that moment, they were talking about tariffs. I'm going to try to edit this so we can see the body language much better. But there are two things that I want to mention about this episode. We're not going to watch the entire episode.
You know how much that bus cost? $100,000 fucking dollars.
Especially
Damn.
because of all the
Can you
points
imagine
that
that
Steve
shit? He
Bannon
was a shitty
could
mayor
make,
when he
which
was
is,
mayor of San Francisco.
what
He didn't do his job 'cause
Gavin
he wanted to be
Newsom
governor.
wants.
Now
He
that he's
wants
governor, he's
this,
not doing his job because he wants to be
say
fucking
this,
president. This
figure.
guy's a
He
piece
won't
of
do his
shit.
job.
Say the
He won't
right
do his job as a
to
president, but
come
he'll
on
want to be
his
a
show
king.
and be able to express
Yeah, there you
himself,
go.
so he can like I think that, I don't know who made the word who mentioned the
And
word
his
right-wash
campaign
him.
manager, his best
wants to be
friend, when
like
he first
kind
ran
of
for mayor of
right-washed
San
because
Francisco, he
the
slept
left
with
has
his
been
wife.
doing so many
Oh, wow.
insane things that
Yeah.
that's why
And then his
that's
wife,
why he's
Kimberly
winning.
Guilfoyle, left
it's
him.
as simple as that. But
Do you
before
know
we
that?
talk
Kimberly
about
Guilfoyle, the
the
chick from the news and was
concepts that
banging
they
Trump
were
Jr.
talking about, we need to
I
address
didn't
this
know
in body
that.
language. I'm going to
Oh,
move
yeah,
it
she's his ex.
and just going to show you this without any sound so you can see it for yourself.
This
Okay,
freak.
he's doing some crazy hand gesturing.
You say so, Mr.
And we
Yano? I
have
think it's really
seen
crazy.
Gavin Newsom, you remember that when he was talking about the wildfires, that he was with this back and forth, like
Dancing.
doing this like kind of dance when he was talking about something really tragic. Right now, he has a bit of limitations because he is sitting down. He's seated.
What are you doing if he
But
wasn't sitting?
Even seated, it's like you
Holy
see,
fuck!
you notice that he is kind of active, and you know that we have this kind of let's say hand gestures I call illustrators that they support
Italian people
the
do that.
things
Talk with their
we
hands.
say. You try to emphasize, you try to add emphasis to your words. Your hands will do what is called illustrators to emphasize the meaning of your words. If you say that something is big, you're gonna throw your hands around like this. If you say that something is high, you're gonna throw your hands in the air. Something is tiny, and you use your hands to, let's say, support your speech. But when I see this, I see that there's no correlation between what Gavin Newsom is saying and his gesture. And
Bitch
by the
sitting
way,
pose.
not going to lie, they are quite unique, as in, you know that sometimes you're watching people speaking speaking with their hands, right? And you see that some gestures they repeat themselves. Okay, that you can see that from different people. It doesn't matter if you are a politician or not a politician, or you're from the left or the right. You kind of use the same.
How did he hide this all the
hand
time?
gestures,
You know
but
that?
Whatever Gavin
Right.
Newsom was doing in here,
Who the fuck would
I
vote
mean,
for
this
a
is
psychopath
quite
like this?
unique. And you see that in 5 seconds, he has gone from
Patty
just
cake.
bumping his wrists. One thing that, okay, what was he saying when he was bumping his wrists?
It's decisions, not conditions, that determine our fate and future.
Is decisions, not
It's decisions,
conditions,
not conditions, that determine our fate and future.
that
Word
determine
salad.
our fate and future. That sounds nice. You know that it's even if he has destroyed California, the guy is hands down a great communicator. But the hand stuff, the hand gestures have nothing to
Man,
do
he
with
must have been
what
doing
he's
that his
saying.
whole
There's
life.
no supporting there.
You know
It's,
that?
Right.
it's
Oh, I'm
kind
sure.
of distracting. There are already many memes out there, but we are not going to address.
He was
the
in my
memes. We
speech
need to
class. I'd have
address the body
murdered him.
language. Why is he doing that? Does he have
I
some
hate when
kind
people
of
say
consultant
says it.
in body language? I don't think so. I think that he's trying to act like a regular human being, and he's doing
not,
a
though.
very lousy job at that.
He's your governor, Grim.
He's,
Make sure you don't
then
vote
doing
for him.
this like maracas movement,
Maracas.
like the Cinco de Mayo. I don't know. It's, and then he goes for this gesture in front of him. I mean, let's watch until the end. We have maybe one illustrator here when he moves his hands to the sides. You know, we have to know what is he saying at that
Interesting,
moment.
I think is important more broadly.
More broadly, at that. At
Why does
that
he act like he's
moment,
shooting a gun?
maybe he uses this gesture. He almost uses the gesture to say more broadly. Okay, but he even kills the gesture. He doesn't go broadly with his hands, but
I think they're
he
hand triggers, so he
immediately
knows
goes
what to say.
for, pointing
Think
with
so?
his both his
Yeah.
index fingers,
Holy
and
fuck.
then
He's like that.
showing
He's
his
really
palms
fucked.
like an
That's what I
pump
would
up the
assume is the
brakes.
things he's
All
doing
right,
are
and
hand
in
triggers,
this
so he
case,
knows.
Yeah, but
You
he's
know what
just
I'm
saying
saying?
words.
talking about
Salad.
issues about Donald Trump's victimization of Trump's
Exactly.
own victimization and victimization of the public, and
Oh, he's got left jackets for a money grab.
See,
You know that?
Or
So he can
gang
run for
of course,
signs,
president
Jack.
victimization and quote unquote, he
and not
does,
win and grab a
air
bunch of
quote
money and
unquotes.
quit.
I see a lot of that, respectively, on the right, and he gestures with
Yeah,
his
Jack's probably right.
left hand to his right side.
I
So
like
that
this
is
one.
that is kind of an illustrator. That is kind of
Yeah, gang
emphasizing
signs. He is
speech.
from
But
California.
when we play this with sound again, we notice that it's kind of not supported, but really
It's
distracting.
decisions, not conditions, that determine our fate and future. And that fundamental notion of
Looks
agency, I think, is
retarded.
important more broadly. And I think that goes to some of the issues around, victimization. And I see a lot of that respectively on the right increasingly, even with Trump often approaching things from that sort of mindset.
You know that I
He's
don't
acting like
remember
he's
him
pushing those
using
ideas
guns
away from him.
that much.
Yeah,
But
he
his
wishes.
people are,
Seen
he's pushing Trump and
him
them
on a
away
podcast. This
subconsciously
was
with his hand.
before, and
Oh, damn,
the
dude,
couple
that's an
things that we
awesome
have seen it
idea.
with Charlie Kirk, I don't remember
And
him
Kung Fu sounds
doing
when he
this
does it.
crazy hand movement.
Yeah.
That would have gone viral. You can bet
Hey,
that.
Paulus.
So maybe he is
Hey,
just
Mr.
nervous.
Cat. We got a Paulus
that,
cat.
he's doing this through
It's my favorite cat now.
this the internet. That is not live. Okay, he's doing this through some kind of connection. He doesn't feel comfortable talking to a camera, which is strange because we know that he's a great communicator. Again, being a great communicator
Yeah, I think
doesn't
Jack
mean
is
that you
onto
have
something.
morals and ethics. You can be a psycho and be a great communicator. Has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, you're right.
And the other thing that I'm going to mention is what they were
He's a
talking about.
Getty. You know that,
Which
right?
is what really worries me.
He's Nancy
about
Pelosi's
this,
nephew, but the Gettys
rebranding of
pretty
Gavin
much
Newsom.
adopted
So
him.
many people can fall for this if you don't.
He's
pay
like their
attention
little
to
pet.
What he's saying. I'm going to play the clip of Steve Bannon talking about the working class and how Trump has, let's say, the right.
Maybe they're his
not to be a
weird
victim, but to
CIA
point out the
triggers.
injustices that both him and the working class have been
What do
suffering.
you mean? What do you mean?
The grievance narrative that comes from Trump.
Notice that in that moment, Steve Bannon was he didn't have his arms crossed, and he all of a sudden, after he asks the question, he crosses his arms. He was not very open for Gavin Newsom's answer, but
The grievance narrative that comes from Trump.
Look at his arms. He's like, fuck you.
There's sort of a victim.
Gavin.
They did try to put him in prison for 300 years, right? They did try to bankrupt him.
Well, that's
if a guy had ever had a set of grievances, they did steal, according to us, and we're firm believers, the 2020 election.
You know that this is part of what I find nice. I'm gonna do my own quote unquote nice about this, which is a laid back conversation. They can have their differences, but they are dealing that even with just a pinch of humor. But even so, again, Bannon had said that he was a tariff guy and he was defending the approach of Trump to tariffs. We're going to be talking about tariffs as well in a minute.
I just wanted to show you his fucking hand gestures. Tell me those aren't freaky as fuck. There's something not right about that, right? Or am I wrong?
There's something up with that shit.
Where's that fucking cat? Okay, here we go. Here you go, Paul. This is your fucking cat. Let me find a better one of them. They're fucking insane, remember?
Yeah.
Hope I didn't lose it. Fuck, I think I dropped it. I'm gonna have to find that. Well, here's Jabba. We'll play him.
Right. So my name is Jimmy Brown. I'm here with Sam from the Stargazy restaurant, which is a British restaurant in the American city of Philadelphia. And
Job is still in America.
These chip butties, which I really appreciate because it's rather difficult to find these in America.
It is. Yeah, I made this specially for you because I knew for your last meal, before I chop you up and turn you into mincemeat.
Well, yeah, I'm excited because I don't like living and I would like to die. So if you can kill me and turn my flesh into a meal, that would be much appreciated.
Fuck.
You know, grind up your organs and some of your flesh.
Oh, right.
And turn it into the haggis.
Haggis.
Do you
All right.
taste like shit compared to like lamb or beef?
Never tried it. I mean, you seem to have a good fat content on you, so hopefully there'll be some good marbling on your meat.
My name is Jimmy Brown. Mince me into mince me. I want to be ground up like beef. I want to be served on a bar with chips. Because I always feel like shit. Mince me into me. Mince my hands and mince my feet. I don't want to exist. I just want to
I'm with Tim on this one.
mince me into mince me.
Jabba Haggis.
I want to be ground like beef. Mince me like a beef mince. Chop me up into little bits. I have only one goal. To fry my organs and fry my soul. I want to be murdered and served on a burger. Mince me into mince me. I want to be ground like beef. Mince me into mince me. Mince me into mince me.
Fucking Jabba.
That's crazy.
You ain't shitting.
I think that make a whole bunch of people sick.
Okay, let me get these Russians up.
Haven't we suffered enough because of the English?
Haven't we? Have you heard about this shit though? Ukraine stopped Russia's natural gas going to Europe, thinking they were going to hurt their war effort. So Russian special services went in this gas pipe, went to Kursk behind enemy lines, and then came out and fucking took over. And then fucking now they got 1,000 troops trapped in Kursk. Give up. They're going to murder them all. There's nothing they can do. They're fucked. This was brilliant, though, I thought, man.
This is new footage from Operation Stream, a top secret Russian mission where they used a gas pipeline to infiltrate Ukrainian lines in Kursk. Now, Russia is mostly claiming this as a major success, but we do have the Ukrainian response here as well, which shows footage of their forces eliminating quite a few Russian soldiers as soon as they popped out the other end. We should call this out real quick, actually. So blue armbands on Russian soldiers is what you're seeing here. Throughout this conflict, Russia has worn either red or white, whereas Ukraine has worn blue and yellow to identify friend from foe. So what you're seeing here are Russian soldiers putting on blue.
They're cheating at paintball.
To make it look like they're actually soldiers once they pop up behind the Ukrainian front lines. Legally dubious is probably the best way to put that. Now, at a high level here, the acting governor of the Kursk region, Alexander Kinstein, said, quote, to get around enemy drones, mines, and equipment, the Russian armed forces used a main gas pipeline through which gas used to be supplied from Russia through Ukraine to Europe. It was a serious step. Not only is it impossible to walk there at full height, but to go bent over in uniform for a dozen kilometers. But there was also a risk of poisoning. Protective equipment was needed.
For the first
Now,
group.
to give you an idea of the area we're talking about here, I'm zoomed in on Kursk on the Deep State map tool. Zoom out a little bit to give you an idea. This is the northeastern portion of Ukraine into Russian territory. Blue area was territory
What do you
held
see
by
after?
Ukraine as of last Friday, March 7th, 2025. So this raid, this Operation Stream, took place on March 8th, on Saturday. Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit to show you the general location of this pipeline.
You can
It's
see the
roughly
pipeline, can't
through
you?
Here, the middle of the screen. And we'll see so you see quite a bit of territory still held by Ukraine on Friday. And if we move that to today,
look,
clearly a big change in the Ukrainian line. So again, it
And
looks
1,000
like, based
troops
off what
are
we know
trapped
right
on the
now,
other side of that
the
now.
Exit points for this pipeline mission were right here along this portion in the northeastern.
But they
sector
killed them all when they
of
came
Sudzha.
out. Not enough,
And turning over to what we
obviously.
know so far, beginning with the Russian
Yeah.
into the Ukrainian perspective. The first series of comments here is coming from call sign Zombie, who is the commander of the Vostok Air Assault Battalion, who took part in this operation. Zombie was formerly a commander of the 3rd Assault Detachment of the Wagner Group. Anyways, he said
You know
that
the Wagner Group,
operation
don't you?
overall took 4 months to.
No, I don't.
Oh, they got
Says
broke up
military
because
personnel
they were trying to
involved
take
included
over.
The 11th Guards Assault
We
Brigade,
spanked
the
the
Airborne
shit out of them,
Forces,
didn't we,
the
Mossy?
72nd Motorized Rifle
Yeah.
Division, the
Fuck
30th
them.
Separate Guards Motorized Rifle Brigade.
Played
That's
their
PMC, a private military company.
what the fuck?
And the
BlackRock.
Vostok Brigade.
No,
So
what was it? Our
wide range
mercenary
of
group.
personnel that kind of lends some credibility to the idea that this was probably more than 100.
Jack,
people, as
yeah,
was initially reported.
Russia gained like
Now,
50%
Zombie
of
says
the
the final phase
battlefield.
of the preparation took
50% of
about
where the
3
battlefield
weeks,
was
and during
left.
that phase,
Russia
they
took
had to
after
pump
they took
gas
this
out of the
pipe.
pipeline.
It
My
was definitely a
understanding is that it
victory.
stopped
To answer
actually
Jack's
operating as a gas
question,
pipeline back in January, but of course there's probably
they took
still
a shit
some
ton of
remaining
land
in
from
the
And a
so
bunch
they
of
had to pump
Ukraine.
that
their
out.
troops are
Oxygen
trapped.
was
1,000 of them.
pumped
They're
in,
telling them if they
at which
don't
point he said they brought
surrender,
in
they're
a
going to
bunch of
murder them
equipment
all.
to actually
And
exit
Trump
the
told
tunnel
them, "Can
at
you
the
go a little
desired
easy?"
point,
And they
because
said, "Oh,
remember,
fuck
this
that."
pipeline doesn't just all
And then
of a
they're
sudden
telling them
stop
that they'll
when they
trade
need to get out. They
POWs
need
for
to
them.
break out once they're behind Ukrainian lines. He said they started to bring
But
personnel
Russia's
into
mad
tunnels,
because they
as
just
well
did a
as
drone
toilets,
strike on Moscow. I
supplies,
don't know if you heard about
ammunition,
that.
and weapons.
Did they?
They're going to be in there
Yeah.
for quite a while. As we get into some of these reports, it sounds like 2 to 6 days even.
2 to 6
These
days.
guys,
so the
this was
guys
not
at
a
the end were in
single
there for
assault.
2
It took
days. Guys at the
one
beginning were
morning.
in there
It
at
was
for
days
6.
on end that they were in this tunnel.
The first group drilled
Zombie
holes in
says
the pipe
in
as they went
total,
along.
More than 800 people were trained in small groups to take part in this assault. He said the pipelines had to be crossed for about 15 kilometers, and upon exiting it, the fighters immediately secured a foothold in the industrial zone near Sudzha. The enemy, the Ukrainians in this case, not expecting a maneuver, began to retreat.
Who would?
And Russia Today actually reported on this as well, talking about some of the details
It's fucking
inside the
brilliant.
pipe. But before getting to that,
They must have
a
had
quick
some
thank
good
you to the
intel.
sponsor of today's video.
You know who
Hey,
is
what?
probably
Just
the
because your
most
personal
on
data
edge?
is already being sold online
Yeah,
doesn't
probably
mean
some
this
good intel. Yeah, you're right about that.
Oh, is that
I
what you
bet
said
you
to
the,
me?
Yeah, I said they must have had some pretty good intel.
I would,
Yeah, but if you got the pipe and it's yours, I mean, what the hell? What are
I
you
was,
going to do?
I would just would not want to be the first group that went in with the guy that's drilling the holes in that metal pipe. Because that thing is full of gas fumes. If you made one little spark, you all be dead.
Yeah, well,
Be
I'm
like
sure
a
that they had
fucking
fans
cannon.
going in the beginning, and then what are you going to do, man? You know what I mean?
Oh,
He who
it's
dares
war.
wins.
You do what you do. It just, I would go down there if I was ordered and be in the first group, but I'd be on edge the whole time I was down there. It'd be a zero pucker factor, as we call it. In the
Oh,
military.
fuck yeah, your asshole would be driving.
Fuck yeah, dude. You'd be, there's no way you couldn't be on edge. I mean, you'd have to do it. It's your job. There's no choice in the matter. But fact still remains, you're going to be on edge the whole fucking time you're under there.
Fuck yeah. The guys who went last, they had it easy, you know that?
I wouldn't even be thinking about the gunfight on the end. I'd be thinking about the process of getting to the gunfight.
That'd be the fun part of the gunfight at the end after all that shit.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
That
"Woo,
would
I'm
be the
relieved
great
we
part.
made it through this, motherfucker."
This is a
Right?
problem we should just ignore. In fact, there's some pretty reasonable actions we all can take to better protect ourselves and our families from these data brokers, like signing up for
Oh,
Deliveroo,
fuck
the
you.
sponsor of today's video.
I hate this kind of shit.
Yeah, see, Jack, you know, fucking with gas fumes ain't no
Retard.
joke.
Porter actually went into this pipeline.
I learned my
to
lesson when I was
experience
like
what it was like to move
17.
along. They called it a claustrophobe's dream, dripping with sarcasm. They say it's impossible to stand up your full height, and you have to walk for kilometers and kilometers. To understand, several hundred of our fighters went behind enemy lines, more than a battalion. It's a significant force. They say the main problem in the pipe is how to breathe. The fighter engineers thought out a ventilation system, and they made holes where possible to let the air in. Again, if you're talking about a few hundred meters, it's not a big deal, but 15 kilometers, this thing doesn't have random air vents throughout. It's designed for gas. That's the opposite of what you would want in a gas pipeline. So a couple different ways that it looks like they tried to resolve this issue. They said the fighters walked in groups of 5, keeping a distance of about 10 meters.
Damn.
And when they stopped, they moved away from each other by 2 meters so that they could breathe normally. Moreover, the fighters figured out how to move along the pipes on some special carts. And we've got a couple different videos and pictures showing those. It
They
does
took
look
a,
like, as you'll see in some of the pictures
card out of,
here,
or
there were
chapter out of El
some,
Look at this
Chapo's
shit that he
book.
wore
probably
the first group, Mossy.
moving through this tunnel
Yeah.
as they were setting up the ventilation system. Those do not appear, from everything I've seen,
It looked
to
like
be
they're diving.
widespread in use
Yeah.
amongst all of the troops.
Yeah, it's
Probably
about
just
right.
You made how
telling
bad it was for the
that
first
needed
group?
that.
It had to have been like
Fuck
fucking
no.
hell.
The pipeline, we recall, was previously used to transit Russian gas through Ukraine. Kyiv stopped it on January 1st, 2025.
It's
Say
Fedorov.
Russian forces rear and broke through the defense, liberating 8 settlements in the Kursk region. As the commander of the special
I
forces,
mean, just
Akhmat
one little
Timso, said,
spark, dude.
quote,
That's
the enemy
shit.
met us in shorts and slippers.
There'd be no
Now,
worry about
shifting over to
them
the
not knowing where
Ukrainian
you're at.
perspective here, a couple
Hear
different
that? They were wearing
reports. We've got the official
slippers.
Ukrainian response. Some
Fuck
reporters
yeah, I
on the
bet they
ground
were.
Make sure there were
in
no
Kursk. And
sparks.
starting out here with kind of a mixed
Yeah.
reaction from Media Zona, where they say some Russian pro-war bloggers and propagandists actually criticized the pipeline strategy as poorly planned. They said the troops reportedly crawled through the pipe for 2 days and then waited inside for 4 more days before emerging.
4
We
days.
know that there had to be some level of coordination here, because the only attack this was not the only attack happening in Kursk. There were multiple advances across multiple fronts.
Remember, I said that the
multiple
other day that they were
directions against
attacking
Ukrainian
them.
forces. So they had
They
to
were
time
flanking
this
them from the
just
pipe.
right. So
Yeah.
these guys didn't pop
What it
out
was is a
3
flank
days later.
movement.
The
Yeah,
other
well,
attacks
they were
were taking
attacking at the
place.
front and then from the
They
back.
say war
So they got
correspondent
them in a
Vladimir
pincer.
Romanov and propagandist Anastasia Kasharova, I'm sure I mispronounced that, criticized the operation as poorly planned, citing a lack of water, supplies,
Yeah,
and
Kurtz,
ventilation.
Jack.
According to their accounts,
They took it,
several
basically.
soldiers died underground from methane poisoning.
Holy
Meanwhile,
fuck, here you go,
Russian
Mossy.
serviceman and pro-war blogger Igor
That's just from the
Guzenko
poisoning. I'd be
argued that the
worried about
premature publication
sparking that
photos and videos
shit,
showing
man.
soldiers crawling through the pipe
Fuck.
had tipped off the Ukrainian side, and that forces would
Yeah,
have needed
that'd
an
be a
additional
toxic
week
place
to
to
secure a
go.
foothold. That's a valid
Hell,
point. We started to
obviously
hear
a couple of
reports
them didn't
this
make it.
attack on Saturday, like as it was playing out. And if you're really talking about, 4, 5, 800 soldiers, like Russia is saying, it takes a while to move 800 soldiers, one at a time.
Could you
or not
imagine?
one at a time, but in a single file line through a tunnel like
Kind of
that.
like
So
a human
it is interesting
centipede.
that Russia pretty quickly was so
Yeah.
proud of this that they announced
That's
the
basically
results
what they did
when,
in
had
groups.
not
You
done
know what
so,
I
they
mean?
maybe would have been able to
Pretty
exploit
much.
this
And then
a
you
little
have to
bit further.
stop and everybody
Now, turning over
breathe
to
and
the
then
Ukrainian
keep going. And
response,
it's a
did see
nightmare.
Ukraine at least had an
Fuck
idea
yeah.
as to what was
And they
happening.
had to be
here.
spread out too if they
Ukraine's
stayed
general
there for
staff
6
confirmed
more
on
days.
Saturday
You know
evening
that?
Russia,
I mean, it's a
Imagine
brilliant
that.
strategy.
sabotaging
Yeah.
assault group had used
A
the
brilliant
pipeline to gain a foothold
strategy,
outside of Sudzha.
but
Telegram
fuck,
Post said Russian troops
to
were
make it
defeated in a
Hardcore.
timely manner, and that Ukraine responded with missiles
a
and artillery.
brilliant fucking
And that's the
strategy.
footage that I'm going to show here. So this was also popping up on Russian Telegram
I
channels,
wonder how many
confirming the
joints they hit
location
before
of
they
these
came up
strikes
with
as
this
being
idea.
very near or right
Fuck,
on
they're
top
on
of
mushrooms, dude.
the actual pipeline where the Russians would be popping out. So it looks like at least
Bet
some
you a
of those
stoner
Russian
walked in the
soldiers were
room and said, "You
eliminated.
want to
And
get
they
behind the
said, man,
lines? This is
Susan,
how you
Stop our
get behind the
gas.
lines."
Stop
Turning
our
back to
gas.
the
Now they
general
gave us a
staff, they say, quote,
freeway.
currently Russian
Yep.
special forces are being detected, blocked, and destroyed.
Nobody's
The enemy's
watching
losses
it.
in Sudzha are very high. And we actually have
Why
a
would they? It was
journalist
a
who was on
gas
the ground
pipeline.
in Kursk Oblast, Yuri Butasov,
You can see
reporting
him
with
shooting
Ukrainian
around it.
Pravda, who said that around 100 Russian soldiers used the gas pipeline to reach the position of Ukraine's defense forces near the area of Sudzha on the morning of March 8th. He said, quote, the enemy used a gas pipeline and came out an area in. The precise location is concealed for security purposes, up to about 100 people. It was not a surprise, as we knew about this action.
It was not a
focus had been shifted
surprise.
to Kurlovka a few days
Bullshit.
prior, where
Why
Look at
would
that
you lose
shit.
so
taking
bad?
place. Said the Russians had been preparing for this operation for several days, clearing the area with aerial bombs. Ukrainian Pravda does not know what happened to the Russian forces who passed through the pipeline, nor whether they managed to reach Sudzha itself. When asked why, if Ukraine knew about this operation taking place, they didn't blow up the pipe, the source said it was possible to do that. given the logistics. Makes me think that maybe there was
What?
a hint that something like this could be happening. But if there was clear early
Why didn't they have their
warning, you have
drones
to
right
believe
there
Ukraine would
then?
have taken more
Right?
deliberate action.
Bullshit. They didn't know about it.
Yeah, they could have just
Maybe
put
they
a
got an
couple
indication
soldiers there
right
to
as
shoot them when they
Russians were
came
starting
out.
to come
That's
out, or they even
bullshit.
saw
You
them as
lying
they were coming out and figured
cocksuckers.
out what was happening
Right?
and responded.
Then
in
how did
time.
they
But
lose half
Fucks.
the
it's hard to
battlefield
believe
that they
right now
had?
that there was all
They
that
lost
much
more than half.
advance
Looked like
warning
to me, and they got
of
people
this
Yeah.
trapped
actual
there
operation
too.
taking
Don't
Yeah.
forget
place.
that
So like
part.
Again, pretty
they got
interesting,
taken by
unique footage,
surprise and they
brand
don't
new,
want to
coming
admit it.
out from Operation Stream. Again, a pretty secret Russian mission using a
Well, you
gas
know it,
pipeline
Jack.
to infiltrate Ukrainian
That's
That's like
definitely going
lines
to
in
be
Kursk.
added.
that's like
That's all I've got for
pantsing
now.
someone and they'd
Thanks
be
for
like, "You didn't
watching.
pants me. My
Hasta
underwear
luego.
was still on."
Yeah, fuck you.
You know what
You
I'm
didn't see
saying? Like,
shit.
If I don't admit it,
that's
didn't
what that
happen.
is. Exactly.
You didn't see shit, man. I guess we'll
Fuck.
stick with the Russian story. We'll go with this one.
Russia, a powerful country. At least that's how it looks on the map and in official narratives. But if we look deeper, beyond the surface of propaganda imagery, we see a different reality. A world where people are trapped in poverty, with no hope for any improvement in
Look at
their
that
lives.
shithole.
Today, I will take you on a journey through the dark corners of this country, where everyday life is a struggle for survival, and dreams ceased to exist long ago. But before we begin,
Yeah, but I bet
don't
nobody
forget to
fucks with you.
subscribe
You
and
know
like
that?
this video.
Yeah.
Russia is home to approximately 140 million people.
Do they got
Of
internet?
that number, over 60% struggle with poverty. And we're not talking about the inability to afford luxury. Crumbling apartment blocks without heating, and
Not to change the subject, but I don't know if you heard what's going on in China. They
What?
did this study, and they did from the cell phones and from the morgues and the crematoriums, and they decided that it's not 1.6 trillion people there anymore, billion. It's fucking 260 million. And then the government came out and said, no, it's actually 380 million. So they lost fucking from 1.6 billion people to 380 million now they've lost.
Oh, they
And I
have
think that it's
total.
even less. So it's probably, like they said, 250 million. That's less than we got.
Yeah.
That's why they're trying to take Siberia from China right now. Fucking crazy, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds crazy.
wages barely cover the cost of the cheapest
Yeah,
food in
Rebels, they just admitted it. At first they were lying about it. And then from the COVID, they created COVID there and that shit bit them in the ass. And then they got fentanyl too. I guess they got something there that's worse than fentanyl that's really fucking people up. They're trying to
Well,
export it, but they don't know how they can right now.
yeah, was trying to take Siberia, weren't they? From
Yeah, they
Russia?
still are. There's an island there that they renamed. And see, Siberia used to be part of China, but Russia took it from them in a war. So China, just like they're dumping the fentanyl here because of the opium wars, they blame us for them. And it was England. But since we're the powers, so they're going to take it out on us. That's how China operates. They operate on like a bitch where they worry about what happened hundreds of years ago that motherfucker alive don't even know about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
about them's a bitch move. They're a bitch country. But they fucked up.
Was it you or Hargrave that was watching people buy stuff off Temu?
It might have been Hargrave. I hate Temu. I got a little brother that buys shit off it all the time, but I don't.
Oh,
I can't
this
stand
one guy
Temu.
was he bought a boat or somebody bought like a truck.
Oh yeah, he does all those cars and trucks off Temu.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's on the
as hell.
Sunday night show, everybody. We do it on Hargrave's channel on Sunday night.
That is funny as hell.
Yeah, you're right, Mo. The population numbers were faker than shit. And then when this scientist of theirs pinned them down, they admitted that it was, well, they didn't admit shit. They said, he's wrong. It's 380, not 250. So I believe him because he went straight to the cell phone operators and got the data from them. And I guess they got ghost towns like unbelievable. So why the fuck are they trying to take land from Russia then? I don't understand that. If they're struggling with their own population now. Doesn't make any sense, does it?
utilities, if they even manage that. Official statistics are distorted, but in some regions, poverty affects as much as
Hey, Nikki.
80% of the population.
Hey,
This means
Nikki.
entire
A
communities
chat
are
spin to the
condemned
top
to a
if you feel
life
like coming
without a
on.
future, trapped in a vicious cycle of
Oh,
poverty
jump
that
on
has
if you
lasted
want.
for generations.
I almost
In
got hooked up
rural
with a Russian
areas,
chick when I was a
time
Mormon.
stopped
She worked
decades
at
ago.
the ballet in Moscow
Wooden
and she wouldn't
houses are
leave. She
sinking
wanted me
into
to
the
move there, and I
ground,
was like,
roads haven't been
fuck.
repaired
After
in
I visited,
years,
I was like, no,
and winter
I don't think
temperatures
so.
dropped to minus 30 degrees.
Not
The
happening.
elderly, who never had a chance at
You
a
know what I
decent
mean?
life, stay there until the end of
Yeah.
their days, while the young either leave or resign themselves to the same survival routine. Cheap vodka, low-paying jobs, and stagnation. The state does nothing to improve their situation. In fact, the authorities care only about their own interests, leaving ordinary people to fend for themselves.
No, we
In
got
the
a good guy
Russian
right now,
countryside,
Jack.
the lack of sewage systems is
Pete
an
Helsing
everyday
is not a
reality.
fucking half stepper. He'll do
In
what's
many
right.
villages, people still use wooden outhouses placed in their yards, often without access to running water. In winter, every visit to one of these outhouses becomes a true test of endurance. The worst off are those who don't even have that luxury. Instead, they keep simple buckets inside their
I'll be
homes
right
or
back.
wooden huts,
Shit.
which they later
That's
have to
crazy.
manually empty into designated pits or dispose of elsewhere.
Oh,
These are
shit.
living
That
conditions that
sucks.
most
I'll
people
be
in
right
the
back.
21st century would find unimaginable. But for many Russians, it is just a part of daily life.
This has
In
got to be
large cities, the
propaganda.
situation is not much
You know what?
better. Moscow and St. Petersburg are exceptions, designed to mask the dire state of the rest of the country. But just a few dozen kilometers beyond the city centers, a grim reality unfolds.
Detroit.
Gray housing blocks where life follows a monotonous cycle. Work that doesn't allow for a dignified existence. Lines for food and alcohol, depression, and a lack of prospects. Young people know that nothing awaits them but mere survival, which is why more and more of them fall into addiction or take a desperate step, escaping abroad. Officially, the average salary in Russia
Yeah, that's
is
all
around
AI. But the funny
35,000
part about
rubles,
AI, Mo, is
but
you
most
can't get
people earn
fucked with
far
it. You can
less.
play all the AI you want,
In many regions,
and nobody can strike
wages
you on it because
barely
it's a
exceed
fucking I.
15,000 rubles,
Suck a dick.
less than 500 zlotys. That's not enough to cover basic needs,
130 a month.
especially with food and
Holy
energy prices
fuck! You
constantly
imagine that?
rising. Food is becoming more expensive.
They're the
And in
poor's.
villages and small towns, people often survive on what they grow themselves.
You can see it in my
Many
cat's
families
face.
keep
He's like,
chickens,
"Help me."
pigs, or cows. Without them, they wouldn't make
I
it
wonder if
through the
she's gonna
winter.
eat that cat.
Potatoes,
Yeah, what the fuck
cabbage,
did they
and
do with all the
bread
shit they took
are
from
the
the
staple
Yazis, like
diet
you
of
said?
millions of Russians. Meat is a luxury that only a few can afford. The worst conditions can be found in Siberian settlements.
Oh yeah, I
and
feel you,
ethnic
Mo. But I
republics
know that
such
when I
as
see one of these
Tuva,
stupid videos with the
Buryatia,
AI,
and
I
Kalmykia.
don't have to worry about getting fucking hit on it because it's AI. It's like I learned that right away, man. I got this too, but fuck playing the whole thing. It's boring and it's stupid. Play the very beginning and we'll play the fight. Because I don't know if you ever seen Robot. Look at that motherfucker
Yeah.
go. Woo!
Yeah, Robot Wars.
Yeah, the Tombstone, the one that this old man and his son drive.
For a tombstone.
It's old as fuck.
You're in great danger.
Let the bus battle begin.
Okay, we'll go to the fight. Because all before that, it's all just talk. This is a rematch.
Let the bus battle begin. At first, he obviously going to hypershock. Parts are falling out.
Pieces are falling off of his shit. And Tombstone, remember how tough that thing used to be?
Yeah.
Not with this thing. Oh, fuck. Jesus, screaming. He's on
That
fire.
bitch is on fire.
He didn't even make it the full fucking. And everybody was worried that it was a chick. So they didn't know if she was going to do good. She kicked the shit out of him, though. And he's
Yes,
a world
she did.
champion. Not anymore.
They're just standing there.
What do you want him to do? He's like, fuck. Wham! He didn't have a chance to hit it. You know that?
Yeah.
That thing jumped on him and didn't stop. That's how you do a fight, though, man. Don't fuck around.
Yeah, I remember when they had something like this on TV.
Oh, I used to watch them all the time. I went to robotic engineering school, so this is my shit. Fighting robots. I was like, fuck yeah.
One had like a blade that was in the middle of it, so you could saw robots in half.
Oh yeah, but that was right there. Tombstone. He was a man. That motherfucking hammer he's got swinging around there, it would fuck people up. They didn't have a chance.
I think I remember one had it was like an arm, but it had like a sharp nail at the end, so it just come down and.
Yeah, I remember that guy too, man. That shit would fuck shit up.
Yeah.
So here's Kash Patel saying that he's going to charge all them people.
A high-ranking U.S. Customs and Border Protection official now faces serious criminal charges.
I don't know if you heard
for
about
allegedly
this.
defrauding FEMA.
It's right here in
after
Michigan.
Destructive floods ravaged Detroit last
And this
year.
isn't the floods.
This
Remember,
case reveals the growing
these are the
focus
floods
on
that
public
happened in the winter when it froze,
Yeah.
which I thought was crazy as fuck. But that was because the water main broke. Remember,
Yeah.
I laid it. Dumb fucks. Anyways, they're talking about the flood that happened when you helped me with the flood in my basement. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like last August, was it about a year ago or so? Maybe
It was
2?
longer than that. 2 years ago.
2 years ago in August, we had a flood and everybody's basements backed up in Detroit and our surrounding area. And I had 380 gallons of water in my basement. I moved everything upstairs before it got bad. And then he came and helped me get it the fuck out. We got it out like in one day and I cleaned it all up, brought everything back down. It was like nothing. I lost 2 rugs. You know what I mean? That was it. So then I guess FEMA was giving people money for all that shit, Mossy. Did you know that?
No.
No, I didn't either. You know why? Because motherfuckers were stealing it.
corruption under the current administration. FBI Director Kash Patel announced charges against career director-level employee Serena Baker Hill for wire fraud, making false statements
Look at her
and
ass.
disaster-related fraud.
Look at that. Too many donuts, bitch.
In connection with FEMA assistance funds.
What's your
This
blood
is
type?
part of the
Diabetes?
new FBI's renewed efforts
What'd you
to
say,
crack
Timmy?
down on public
I
corruption.
said, what's your blood type? Diabetes?
Fucking meatloaf. These motherfuckers make me sick. So they're all crooked, and that's why they're all screaming and yelling and bitching and moaning. You know that? Stop what they're doing.
Yep.
Fuck them all. Yeah, I didn't know it was Oprah's daughter either till I heard that. Actually, it wasn't Stedman. It was what's Gail did it. Gail King. Gail King knocked her up. Fuck this. So now he's starting to say they're going to start charging people after stupid ass Pam Bondi gaslit us for fucking a week. Yeah, and speaking of that water main break,
Nearly a month
these guys
since
are all
a
crying
major
now.
water main break in southwest Detroit flooded hundreds of homes, and now residents say they are frustrated with the city's response. CBS News Detroit's Elaine Rojas Castillo spoke with one resident and took his
There was
concerns
200
directly
homes
to the
damaged
source.
from it.
She joins us
Yeah,
from
I know.
Rowan and Beard.
What's a
with the
goddamn
details.
4-foot water pipe? Remember I told you?
Yeah.
Frozen in time. The Ballet Folklorico studio on Rowan looks like dancers just walked out with their hats, scarves, and shoes waiting to be put back on.
When it's that big, if they disturb it at all, you don't know what's going to happen. You know that?
Yeah.
Because it's the only thing that's holding it together is a rubber fucking joint that you goddamn put soap on, and then the stones and shit that you put around it as you lay it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then if like we buried it all, we put it all right, and then they come in and they put a road or something over that, or who knows? You know what I'm saying? Or they redid the road.
Right.
You never know what the fuck happened there.
On. Jaime Carrillo says the
It was
entrance
stupid
still
for him
has
to
the
put it through a
last day the
neighborhood, I
students
always thought.
practiced marked on the wall, just 3 days before the water main broke.
I mean, I know they're working with like about 400 homes. But I think that the main complaint
He
from
said
the
400.
neighbors and the
Yeah.
residents around and stuff is that
Last I heard it
Carrillo
was
says
2.
he's not alone with the community's
That's
growing
probably how many they're
frustration
going to pay.
Could be
You know that?
on what
They're probably saying,
Yeah.
okay, we're going to take care of 200 people, and then the rest are fucked, more than likely. You know that?
Yep.
Fuck. So they're gonna just cry in the wind. Who's gonna? Detroit's broke. What are they gonna do? You know what I mean? Seriously, what are they gonna do?
You're gonna fall. You're gonna fall.
Cat version
Damn.
of Just Dance.
She's staring at my shirt. She thinks there's a dog in my shirt.
Dumb cat.
The art of karate.
Uh-oh. Sticky fingers.
Always excited to see her. Taught him how to bring
How to let
toilet
them
paper.
kill each other.
I think those hairless cats are ugly.
I think they're creepy as fuck.
Do you have my wallet?
Yeah, they are.
I know people that struggle.
You got a wallet.
Luna.
Really allergic to dust.
Look at this one. That's fucking nuts, ain't it?
What the fuck is it hanging off of?
He's hanging on the bottom of the table. It's like one of those bamboo ones.
Yeah.
Adorable.
Fucking cat. Oh, this
yeah,
is great.
They look like hairless rats. They're ugly looking.
This guy was a candidate for mayor in New York. And they had to kick him out. Screaming at Tom Holman. Do you believe in the First Amendment? I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to bring on to for him.
What a time to be alive.
Just they kicked his ass out. I bet you didn't get no votes either. You know that?
Well, New York's another place that's all broken.
You ain't shitting.
I'll be back on in a second.
All right, this is crazy, man. While all that other shit's going on, look what these motherfuckers got going on the top of the earth.
Fetch. Meet RoboDog.
That's creepy.
Today
as
she's in a
hell.
playful mood. She
Is
doesn't
that
bark and
nuts?
she doesn't bite.
That's crazy.
But if you're with the Russian military, she can do a whole lot worse than nip your ankle. Better to have her on your side.
Fuck you!
This dog
Kill it!
is much more
Kill it
appealing
now!
than my greyhound.
You've seen
Right.
Terminator.
In this
You've seen
two-part
Terminator. You know what
Frontline
happens.
film, shot in the
Fuck
winter of
yeah, we know where this
1955,
leads, you dumb
cameraman Jamie
fucks.
Wiseman and I traveled to the
Skynet.
Kharkiv Oblast frontline areas.
This is called the Billionaires
We meet
Club in the
futuristic ground
Ukraine.
drones deployed by Ukraine's most innovative combat unit, which has been given the nickname the Billionaires Brigade. We spend an evening in a
They
vampire's
build
crypt
robots.
near the Russian border and watch the vampires bite. We see how a disabled tank is recovered under cover of darkness, while the ever-present drone threat interrupts an old-fashioned artillery strike.
Okay, there's a drone very close, and we're going to have to go to the shelter ourselves.
Frontline is spending a week with RoboDog's owners, the so-called Billionaires Brigade. The unit claims to be the template.
They still
for
got
a
graffiti
future
here,
cutting-edge
Jack. I'll
Ukrainian
fucking
army.
go around and film it. That's a good idea. Because the thing around here is who can get it the highest and the weirdest places above the freeways. You know what I mean?
Some of those graffiti are really nice to look at, though.
They tell a story, most of them. I had to learn it to put it in my art. And I can explain it to you guys. It's pretty cool, actually, some of it.
I've seen ones that look like murals, pretty much.
Yeah, when they're like that, it's almost like real art. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think around here, what's big is the trains. They put them on the trains around here.
In Bremerton, East Bremerton, there's like a graffiti wall, and somebody did like a really good drawing of Spawn.
Huh.
It
That'd
was
be cool
dope
as
as hell.
fuck.
Yeah, it was dope as hell.
Mo says, what happened to scientists? All we have now is rubber stamps for far left ideology or mad scientists like those lurk fuckers who are working with AI viruses and black holes. Yeah, no shit. That motherfucking CERN, they fired that thing up again after they said they weren't going to. Did you know that? I think that's part of the reason why shit's so crazy again.
Certainly, it's among the most innovative and glamorous of the frontline formations here. As such, the brigade is able to recruit Ukraine's best officer cadets, counts a number of celebrities among its volunteer soldiers, and is no stranger to visiting global dignitaries. It might have started as a territorial defense unit, but Dad's army it is not. So who are these poster boys? The 13th Hatia Brigade of the National
Spoiled
Guard of Ukraine,
with our money.
as it's officially titled, was founded and funded in 2022 by Vsevolod Koshimenko, one of the country's wealthiest businessmen.
I'll try to find some
Most
for
of
you,
its battles
rebels.
have taken place inside its native Kharkiv
Well,
oblast.
I'm gonna hit the
It
hay.
led the charge to the
Oh,
Russian
thanks for coming
border
by,
during
Timmy.
Ukraine's
No
successful
problem, man.
Kharkiv
You're always welcome,
counteroffensive
bro.
in the autumn
Have
of
a good night.
22.
You too.
Last May, the unit stopped in its tracks the Russians' renewed push towards Kharkiv city. While to the south of us in Donbass, the Russians are advancing relentlessly. Up here on the battlefield between Kharkiv city and the Russian border,
I think that's the whole thing, Mo. I
invaders are
think
not
they're
only
trying to
being held by
squeeze us so
Kharkiv,
that
but in
we're
some
more
places-
willing to go to Mars. You know that? If they make it rough for us, then you'll go to Mars that more easily. You know what I mean? It'll be an escape from this shithole here, whatever the fuck they'll have out here going on. Because that's how they always do everything. It's always a carrot and a stick with these fuckheads. It's always motherfucking good cop, bad cop, worse cop, bullshit.
is pushed back. Hatia believes in a more cerebral approach to combat. Mission planning and execution follow NATO rather than Soviet protocols. Each attack is prepared and reviewed in detail using 3D printer-made models and specialist software.
I wonder how these fuckers worked out when we shut off all our intel.
About the brigade's adoption of
Stupid
the
fucks.
seven-step military decision-making process, which is followed in the West.
Найбільш важливі – це отримання завдання, після якого йде аналіз
he's saying the most important
який
task is,
складається із
getting information
вивчення
and following it.
місцевості, погодних умов, противника та,
So he's talking about
власне,
information from us, probably.
більш детального аналізу поставлених задач і власних сил, які нам доступні для виконання цього завдання.
So they use standard troops to do the mission after they plan it all out.
По-перше, це відпрацювання на макеті місцевості, який за великим рахунком нагадує карту, де ми використовуємо модельки, роздруковані на 3D-принтері.
These models printed in a 3D printer, and they sit there and they play it out on this board.
Це вже на більшому макеті, де, скажімо, командири малих піхотних груп,
And then they tell everybody what they want them to do.
Присутні.
Holy
А третій
shit.
етап, найбільш масштабний, це вже відпрацювання на самій місцевості, коли підрозділи у повному бойовому спорядженні з своїми машинами бойовими відпрацьовують
100%,
найбільш
Jack.
важливі етапи виконання завдання, такі як розгортання в бойовий порядок на техніці, спішування, і, власне, ті дії, наприклад, дії штурмових груп, які передбачаються при, власне, виконанні завдань.
So you stay safe behind the
This is how
lines.
that theory looks in practice. The footage you're about to see now, provided to Frontline by Hatia, chronicles a combat operation in the second half of 2024, from the planning process to the full-blown assault on Russian positions in a forest northeast of Kharkiv city. Some of the footage has been censored for security reasons. Here we see unit commanders being walked and talked through a floor model of the operational area and their individual roles.
Ми робимо все для того, щоб ви виконали задачу і залишили цілими неушкодженими.
Holy shit, it's PTP.
A diversionary feint is explained.
Що враг там думав, що ми прямо.
The attack's armored thrust is practiced for a final time. The assault troops gather in darkness and are assigned to their vehicles.
Все, заїжджайте, там.
Holy shit, it was a...
Все, закрили.
Головне, щоб мама не побачила.
Mom thinks I'm at home.
Слава Україні!
Oh yeah, Jack. We fucking laundered all our money through there.
The attack
Our
is about to be
politicians
launched.
made their fucking bugs there.
As Hatia's armor advances on the enemy tree line, watched by friendly drones, artillery is beginning to fall. This is the moment of truth for the assault infantry. Basic instructions from the troop commander. The assault troops have been given dozens of GoPro cameras to record and later analyze the unfolding attack. What you're watching is not an exercise. This is a close-quarter small arms battle. on
It's
the edge of the
retarded.
forest.
You back yet, Mossy?
Tension back in the control room.
Какого хуя там кто-то руководит без меня?
The Hatia assault troops are on top of a Russian dugout.
Правый фланг вперед! Держим! Правый вперед! Продвижение, продвижение. По возможности координаты.
Now the enemy is hitting back. Grads begin to fall into the forest along the line of advance.
Стопай, стопай!
The small arms battle intensifies as more Russian positions are reached. Grenades are being used.
The fuck?
Ukrainian attack drones now enter the fray.
Oh, they're not showing you that one.
Нам надо 60-кой, отработать 60-кой.
Дай мне дистанцию и азимут, дай дистанцию и азимут.
Ukrainian artillery is also engaging the Russian positions. The pressure begins to tell on the defenders.
It's our howitzers, man. Those motherfuckers can drop a fucking bomb on a dime.
The Ukrainian drones record Russian soldiers fleeing their positions.
Своя!
Clearing of enemy positions with grenades and small arms
Hey,
fire is
Amit.
underway. The fighting is intense. Here, a Ukrainian throws a grenade. Another grenade into another Russian trench. Here is an enemy dugout with casualties.
Yeah.
Отработали около 5-6 нор. Все гранаты туда закинули. Жестокий убийца.
Frontline understands that as a result of this assault, the Russians suffered more than 60 casualties, lost a howitzer and an anti-tank firing position, and were driven back to their next line of defense. Hatia can get their hands as dirty as any other infantry brigade, but what we really wanted to see were the combat robots for which the unit is known. The Ukrainians call them ground drones. It took a little time to arrange the demonstration. That's because the remote control machines are already being used on the battlefield. They're not toys or prototypes. In fact, Hatia claims to have carried out the world's first ever remote control machine only attack on a Russian position in Kharkiv in December. To view the evidence, we drove north to Kharkiv from Donbass on one of the few truly wintry days in January. The drone unit operates out of a secret workshop in Kharkiv city. It's led by 20-somethings rather than the Generation X's you tend to find in charge of other units on the front line. In fact, the average age of the whole of the Katia brigade is only 31.
Yeah,
These are
that
young
Ghost
scientists
Kiev
or gamers who
bullshit.
brought their peacetime skills to develop this
fuck?
high-tech warfare. Jess, age 20, is the unit's coder.
Я займаюся
Here we
налаштуванням
go, Mo.
польотних контролерів. Це такі
Just the
вкладки
controller.
всередині дрона, які
Little boards inside the drones that help the drones receive
допомагають
commandos
дрону приймати
from the
команди
operator.
від
She don't know
оператора.
shit about
Я
robotics.
займаюся налаштуванням цих платок, периферії, для того, щоб дрон розумів, куди йому їхати, де повернути і взагалі що робити.
How does it feel to work? How do you feel about working for such a special unit?
Ну, в цілому мені подобається і дуже цікаво працювати в цьому напрямку, тому що підрозділ дуже перспективний. Те, чим ми займаємось, поки що не так розвинено, тому розвиватися дуже цікаво. І також мені подобається працювати в команді з провідними фахівцями і людьми, тобто фахівцями своєї справи.
Okay. And could I ask you finally, what did you do before the full-scale invasion?
До того, як я пішла служити, я навчалась, працювала, тобто жила
She ain't gonna say
своє
she's a
звичайне життя.
waitress.
Просто намагалася розвиватися в зовсім в іншій справі, але в якийсь момент я усвідомила, що тут моє місце.
Thank you very much, Jess.
Pan 26 is the unit's
Oh, here
deputy
we go.
commander, a molecular biologist by training. He was about to
It's
begin a
Pan
PhD
Boy!
in Germany when the full-scale invasion began. His particular interest was biological evolution. Now he's involved in the development of war machines.
What we're looking at actually are ground drones. These are sort of robots that can be remotely controlled on the battlefield. Yes?
Of course, they can be remotely controlled, and we usually control them remotely and trying to do it as far from battlefield as it's possible for safety of our operators. This particular drone is used for logistics.
Well, we can see it's carrying a lot of firewood here.
Yeah, it is because we used it for testing. Its capabilities.
But it could be used for ammunition.
Of course, ammunition, any supply.
I guess it's actually replacing human beings for doing or more vulnerable vehicles which need to be manned by human beings.
Yes, you're right. It replacing humans, making their job easier, safer, and also replacing other vehicles that are more vulnerable and more costly.
And I can see these, they have either tracks or they have heavy tires. These are capable of going across pretty rough terrain, yeah?
Yes, but everything has its limit.
Could you tell me, I know this unit is still pretty secret and confidential, but I mean, how long have you been operating on the battlefield?
Our unit operating on a battlefield for around half a year.
And that's on the Kharkiv front, yeah?
Yes.
And are you, I know this is early days yet, but are you encouraged by the results of your operations with these ground drones?
We enjoy our result because we don't have a lot of people.
I don't have to go to the front and fight. Say the truth, bitch.
Specialized. We do a lot of work with small amount of people, and we like it.
And I understand that these vehicles, these drones, are developed entirely in Ukraine, yes?
They manufacture it in Ukraine, but the majority of them are upgraded and modified by us before we use them.
The final question I was going to ask you is, so are we actually looking at the future of warfare here?
Hey, Ronnie G.
We are not looking at the future. We are looking already at modern warfare.
This is the reality of warfare in 2025.
Of course. It is our reality.
All kinds of military robots are to be found here, from machines that can lay anti-tank mines or mount machine guns to heavy load carriers. All are controlled remotely, obviating the need for a human to be in the line of fire. Ukraine is increasingly short of soldiers. Such robots could provide the answer to the shortfall. The star of the show, because it, or rather she, is so very strange, is Robodog.
This is that dog again.
This is the 22-year-old unit commander, call sign Happy. In repose, Robodog looks like an oven-ready chicken, except a green light has now started blinking in its head.
This is 13 Brigade's famous robot dog, which is waking up from its sleep.
Robodog is amazing, and also more than a little creepy.
I'd fuck it
Unlike
up
the other
quick.
robots deployed by the brigade, she was not developed in Ukraine.
Oh shit, it's from America, dumb fuck.
She's an adaptation of the Go-2 model, made by the Chinese company Unitary
Oh,
Robotics.
China, it's even better.
Off the shelf, the Go-2 costs a little over £2,000.
That's it.
Hatia has been trialing Robodog for close-quarter battlefield reconnaissance. using its stealth capabilities and powerful head-mounted camera that can relay real-time video feed to an operator several kilometers away.
Back. Up.
Oh, so it's a spoof. That's recon.
It's been reported that both the US Marines and
Oh, that's a
Chinese
goddamn
Army
Laws
tested
rocket.
an armed version of RoboDog. The Marines with an anti-tank missile, the Chinese with an assault rifle. A cavalcade of battle robots.
Fuck,
sets
this is
off
right out
for
of
the
sci-fi.
countryside. This is all very weird. This creature also belongs to the unit. It's a real cat, by the way. We arrive in a field a few miles outside Kharkiv city. RoboDog is let off her leash and shows a surprising turn of pace. You can see how well she is camouflaged, merging into the mud. In case you're wondering, I say she because dog is a feminine noun in both Ukrainian and Russian.
This is an anti-tank mine laying drone. Now, in combat conditions, the operator would be several kilometers away and would be controlling it via a Mavic drone overhead. And I will just show you how it works.
Oh, this is the mine thing.
One mine at a time.
Fuck.
All done remotely and without any particular risk to the operator. We now have an anti-tank barrier on this part of the field. This particular ground drone is designed to mount a 7.62
Tout it,
machine gun
Ronnie.
somewhere here. It has been used in combat. And
So
it
collect
has been
money
used
after the
attack
war to
Russian
clean it up.
positions. Again, it will be used remotely. The operator can be several kilometers away, and he'll be directing it. She will be directing it via. Let's see it move. As you see, it's got plate armor, and the turret also revolves. This kind of technology is not the future of ground combat. This is actually happening now on the battlefield.
Here we see footage of one of the Ukrainian
Fuck
machine gun
that.
drones successfully attacking a Russian position inside Kursk. I'm
you
invited
imagine
to
that
take
shit?
control of one of the small, fast robots.
It's got to be a
that can
nightmare.
perform several tasks from carrying supplies to kamikaze attacks.
It's bad enough with the drones. Now they got these motherfuckers running around.
It's great fun.
But one's attention keeps returning to the sinister, crowd-pleasing RoboDog.
Jump.
Yeah, they got a hard on for this dog.
Yeah. One final trick. Just roll over. Roll over.
This particular RoboDog doesn't bark, but has been programmed to
Look at
say
this
something very unique
shit.
to any Russian it encounters.
Give up.
That might have to be bleeped. We saw it in the workshop where it did a few tricks. Now it's out in the field, and you can see it's been running around this field very easily. It's got a camera in its nose, which it uses for reconnaissance.
Wonder how long before they put a gun on
seems
it.
very agile, particularly on this the flat surface here. It can do a variety of amusing tricks, but its intent, its purpose is deadly serious. Sit.
Fuck. Dogs, Grim. It's going to be replacing humans. I don't want to be on a battlefield with these motherfuckers. Fuck all that. It's fucking nuts.
This footage is giving a slightly misleading impression, as it is the RoboDog's controller, a soldier standing just off camera, who is the one following my instructions, rather than the drone itself. No doubt, with the evolution of AI, that day will come. Now let's look at what RoboDog saw of this sequence.
We got planes with
or rather
drones
the
right
images
now.
conveyed to her pilot.
We're so far ahead of that shit.
Go fetch. Fetch.
We got drones for our fucking tanks. Whatever the fuck they're using, we're like fucking 5 steps ahead. You can guarantee that.
This dog is much more obedient than my greyhound.
Like a spaniel after a walk on a wet winter's day.
That thing's
she needs
quick.
a bath. Nor is she completely sure-footed.
This is some considerable leap forward from K9, who appeared in Doctor Who while I was during my childhood.
Meanwhile, around
Yeah,
us,
this dog
more
stole the
conventional
show.
war carries on. In the distance, smoke begins to rise from the latest glide bomb hit on Kharkiv city, while further along the tree line, a mobile anti-Shahed drone team waits for dusk.
Yeah, there you go,
And the
Mo.
next Russian
They want
onslaught.
AI so it
Their
can run
anti-aircraft
independent
gun
of
is from a
these
much older
half-ass
generation
people,
of drone
because
technology.
these
the
people
ground-
that run these things, they're saying that they get combat fucking PTSD and all that shit too, which I think is bullshit. It's fucking all bullshit. Yeah, I'll show this.
Missouri Senator Josh Hawley's here. How seriously is Washington taking these, looks like domestic terror attacks against Tesla?
Well, it ought to be serious, particularly if you follow the money, as you were just pointing out, Jesse. I mean, really, it's time to blow the lid off the dark money operation of the left. They've been doing this for years. They've been funding all kinds, whether we're talking about terrorism on campuses, the pro-Hamas terrorists, whether we're talking about these attacks on Tesla, whether we're talking about what's happened at people's homes, the justices' homes of the Supreme Court, for instance. All of that is AstroTurf left-funded garbage. We ought to find out where all of it is coming from. But Jesse, I'll also just say this. The left have really gotten to be a bunch of weirdos. I mean, just a year ago, they were all driving EVs and touting their moral virtue for doing so.
Smelling
And
their
now
own
they're burning
farts.
down the dealerships, disrupting the State of the Union. These people are weird, and that's why the American people will not give them power.
I mean, I guess that's why they don't really care about the climate. It was never about lowering the Earth's temperature, because if you really cared that much, you wouldn't burn an electric car.
No, it's about fucking control. Now that we found out where their money's all at, they're all butthurt and they're gonna fucking cry and scream.
Today, the Trump administration took one more step on their authoritarian march, detaining Palestinian student and recent graduate of Columbia University, Mahmoud Khalil. When ICE agents detained him, he was next to his wife, who's been pregnant for 8 months. And when his lawyers called the ICE agents who were detaining him to ask for a warrant, they literally hung up on his lawyer. This is a blatant violation of the Constitution. This is a blatant violation of our rights. And this is a threat to Americans.
You're a little bitch.
Regardless of whether or not you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, or otherwise, all of us need to be extremely concerned about this. Donald Trump is trying to shut down young people and stop us from speaking out, because he, like all other
He's
authoritarians,
co-chair of the Democratic
believe
Party
that they
now.
have to shut down freedom of speech, freedom of expression,
I mean, that ain't a
so
freak.
that they can rule like a king. In this country, we don't fucking bow to kings, and we need our young people to stand up to Donald Trump, because he knows that we are one of the biggest threats against him. This is bullshit. This is happening, and we can't let it stand.
Freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from accountability. David Hogg should spend less time protesting on behalf of terrorism supporters and more time protesting plasma not curing AIDS, which clearly affects him more personally. He's definitely a fucking... He was never at that fucking high school. He jumped on his bike and rode there as fast as he could when he heard what happened. He even says that in an interview. I've got it somewhere around here. That little bitch. That was Butterbean losing for a one.
A heavier weight means more power, and a longer reach allows for better control. However, time and time again, we've seen that size alone does not guarantee victory.
Oh, he got knocked out.
In today's video, we will witness how a much smaller fighter completely destroys his giant-sized opponent.
That Chinese guy, he always gets beat up. That's gonna get him too.
The first match is a thrilling battle between a fighter from the lightest division in BJJ, the Rooster weight class, facing off against a much larger opponent from the heavyweight division. Right from the start, the size difference is striking. This fighter, weighing under 125 pounds, faces a huge challenge in overcoming the sheer strength and pressure of his much heavier opponent.
Stay out of his guard. Push his leg. Stay out of the guard. Stay out of that guard.
But this is where technique makes all the difference. With speed, agility, and a deep understanding of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu,
He
the
just kicked him inside the
roosterweight
knee.
fighter takes control of the situation. Using smart ground game, smooth transitions, and a rock-solid defense, he patiently searches for an opening. After minutes of incredible defense, he finally sees his chance. With a brilliant execution, he locks in a submission, forcing his much larger opponent to tap out.
Oh, that was.
An equally intense
There you go.
showdown unfolds in the next women's fight.
It's a man.
Remember the two things that I said. One, when I take a safe break, take a full
At the start of the match, both fighters appear evenly matched. The smaller fighter manages to keep up with
Mean the
her
woman?
giant size opponent, showing impressive skill and resilience. In fact, the fighter in black shorts skillfully dodges the powerful strikes thrown by the much larger boxer. The fight reaches its peak
Oh!
when the smaller
Ran right
fighter
into it.
goes for the attack. With a devastating right hook, it takes just a split second before her opponent crashes to the canvas. Speed and agility are often the secret weapons of smaller fighters. Unlike their bigger opponents, they can exploit openings and react quickly to shifts in the fight's momentum. A perfect example of this is Tivadar Kunkley's victory over Bob Sapp. Despite Sapp's massive size and brute strength, Kunkley's speed and precision allowed him to land a fight-ending blow, securing a KO victory.
This is a good one, watch. Kick the right neck. Fucking baby Huey. That was it.
Man, she knocked the fuck out of her.
Next, we
Yeah.
have an iconic moment when Fedor
That
Emelianenko,
robot dog
one of the
was
most
crazy, too.
legendary
I
MMA
was
fighters,
there, I just
took
couldn't
down a
talk.
much larger
You're right,
opponent,
Mo. That's basically how
Hong
it
Man
works.
Choi.
I saw that girl knock that other one out.
Advantage of his
That was
opponent's
crazy.
slower reactions, Fedor was able to land precise
Oh,
strikes
you missed it. We were
and
on some
execute a
military
perfect
shit.
armbar
I
submission,
seen it.
Feel about those
forcing the
drones,
giant
man.
to tap out.
That shit's crazy. That dog is nuts too.
Seriously, do you want to be on the battlefield with them motherfuckers?
If they were on my side,
Yeah, but I mean, talking about dropping grenades on you and following you around. You've seen them chasing people around in circles and blowing up. I mean,
yeah,
that shit's
no,
horror story shit.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're all
And
ours right now.
the micro drones that they have out now.
They're
that
called
they have.
switchblades. The Marines got them. They took away our
Yeah.
tanks and gave us killer drones. I'm like, fuck, that's an upgrade, ain't it?
Well, they have the ones that are packed with C4. Remember we showed it on the show
Yeah.
that one time.
Yeah, they're called switchblades. It's fucking
Yeah.
insane.
There's
Then they
a
got bigger ones
there's
too.
like a gram and a half or half a
Yeah.
gram or some shit.
And then they
of
got the
C4
bigger
in
ones
'em.
too that are bigger than
Oh
the
yeah,
switchblades.
yeah. Take out a vehicle, put a hole in the wall inside your house and shit.
And then you know about the ninja ones too, don't you? The ones with the knives spinning.
Yeah.
Those things are fucking nuts, man. The shit we got is crazy.
The next war is going to be really insane. Civilians are going to have to hide out.
Hong Man Choi also suffered defeat at the hands of a kickboxing fighter known as the Shaolin Kung Fu Master, Yi Long. Yi Long stands at 5 feet 9 inches, while
Holy
Hong Man
shit.
Choi towers over him at over 7 feet. Despite the massive size difference, Yi Long showed no fear.
Yi Long.
Elon. Actually, it's
In
little
this showdown
long.
in Macau, Yi Long
He
dominated
showed no fear.
remarkable courage and strength.
He just tried
The
to step
fighter,
on him.
whose full name is Fakir Yilong,
shit.
skillfully dodged
Fakir.
Choi's powerful strikes and countered with sharp, precise attacks. However, the fight took an unexpected turn when Choi accidentally
Kicked
took
him
a
in the
kick to the
nuts.
groin. Unable to continue after the recovery time, the Korean fighter was forced to withdraw, and Yilong
He's
was
Korean.
declared the winner.
Right in the ding.
Meanwhile, Fedor Emelianenko also defeated another giant, the legendary Semi Schilt. Fedor utilized every technique in his arsenal, taking Schilt down, pinning him to the ground, and locking in a submission to
Hope not, Mo.
secure the victory. Next, we have an incredible moment when the heaviest athlete in the world was defeated by a much smaller fighter skilled in Kung Fu. Standing at 6 feet 6 inches and weighing a staggering 881 pounds.
880
Emmanuel
pounds,
Yarbrough
holy
was a
fuck.
sumo wrestler who once
That's
competed
crazy.
in UFC 3. In that event, he faced Keith Hackney, a Kung Fu specialist. Despite being significantly
him out of the
smaller
ring.
than Yarbrough, Hackney managed to drop the massive sumo fighter with a series of powerful palm strikes. At one point, Yarbrough turned the tables and even threw Hackney out of the octagon. But in the end, the Kung Fu master proved his superiority, finishing the fight with a TKO victory.
Finally got the leg.
Emmanuel Yarbrough also suffered a defeat against Daiju Takase, who displayed dominant control throughout the fight. His smaller frame gave him a huge advantage, allowing him to move
should have stayed in
quickly and
sumo
effortlessly, while
wrestling.
Yarbrough struggled with mobility.
Right.
As the fight progressed, things got more intense when
Oh,
Yarbrough
fuck, he
briefly
fell on him.
trapped Takase by pinning his leg. However, thanks to his agility and quick reflexes, Takase managed to escape the sumo wrestler's
That was
hold.
crazy.
Yarbrough then appeared exhausted, leaving an
Yeah, he
opening for
ran out of
Takase
gas.
to unleash a relentless attack. With one fighter unable to defend himself, the referee stepped in, stopping the fight and declaring Yarbrough the loser.
That was all or
by
nothing for him when he fell
KO.
on him. You know that?
Yeah.
And finally, we have a remarkable moment featuring Genki Sudo as he faced off against the massive fighter, Butterbean. At the start of the fight, Sudo
I
appeared
remember this.
calm and strategic, avoiding any reckless moves. He didn't rush in carelessly with his attacks against Butterbean. Even when Butterbean tried to close the distance, Sudo kept evading, clearly looking for the perfect opening to strike. After spending some time dodging and analyzing his opponent, Sudo finally made his move, taking Butterbean down to the ground. However, before he could capitalize, the first round ended. In the second round, it was Butterbean
That's
who
what they
initiated the
should
ground
do,
fight.
Jack. Every
But
time
in an
go after the
unexpected
leg.
turn of events, Sudo reversed the situation,
this.
locking
Oh,
in
shit.
a leg submission. With no way to escape, Butterbean was forced to tap out, giving Sudo the victory.
He got lucky, man. That was luck as fuck.
Want me to make you a sandwich?
Oh my girl.
Yeah. Hargrave turned me on to her. It's like fucking food porn. You know that?
Right.
Yeah. Besides, she does good food. She's hot. Grim. It's all good in the hood.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Here you go.
Ah, bitch. Right? Where are we? We'll touch on the Diddy list on Wednesday. I'm gonna start showing what everybody already knows so that people are got an idea. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because they're never gonna give us the roll list, so we might as well just say what we already know. Oh, here's Anna Kasparian going after Gavin.
Why is he commemorating anything for being mayor of San Francisco? The city's never been the same. Like when he was mayor, he wasn't mayor. He was busy trying to be governor. Then the city went to hell. Then he becomes the governor of California, trying to be president, and the state goes to hell. He's never doing his job.
Yeah, I do her in spite of the tattoos, Mo.
I agree with that message. I just hate that it's coming from Greg Gutfeld, but it is true. California Governor Gavin Newsom somehow finds ways to reveal his narcissism is even worse than we previously expected.
Anna Kasparian is absolutely fed up with what Gavin Newsom and the woke left are doing. Now, Anna Kasparian is going live on the Young Turks to absolutely tear not only Gavin Newsom, but the rest of the woke left to shreds. In particular, Anna Kasparian is going after Gavin Newsom in this video for his hypocrisy, for his lies, and for taking money from the voters in America. Let's get into this clip here where Anna Kasparian absolutely takes down Gavin Newsom for these hypocrisy and these lies.
According to a new book, California Governor Gavin Newsom helped fund a bronze statue of himself that's sitting inside San Francisco City Hall.
Why is he commemorating anything for being mayor of San Francisco? The city's never been the same. Like when he was mayor, he wasn't mayor. He was busy trying to be governor. Then the city went to hell. Then he becomes the governor of California, trying to be president, and the state goes to hell. He's never doing his job.
What the fuck's he gonna do if he becomes president? You know what I mean?
I agree with that message. I just hate that it's coming from Greg Gutfeld, but it is true. California Governor Gavin Newsom somehow finds ways to reveal his narcissism is even worse than we previously expected. And he is funding projects for his own vanity, even as he gets blowback over his glazing of right-wing figures on his new podcast. So, in fact, there was this bust of Newsom in San Francisco City Hall, and a new book exposes the origins of this monument and how it was funded.
They were saying,
now,
look at
before
his
becoming
great
governor
hair.
of California
He's
back
the one
in
who paid for it
2019,
all,
that
and probably
terrible,
for them to
fateful
say
day,
that about it, you know what I
he
mean?
served as the mayor
Yeah.
of San Francisco between 2004 and 2011, and then later he was the lieutenant governor between
you're probably
2011
right, Mo.
and 2019.
Probably better off with him
However,
not
in
being focused on shit.
2015, SF Gate, the publication, noted that Gavin Newsom and his great hair make
Okay.
a permanent city hall spot, referring to the bust, also gross. In the article, they write that the bust is the brainchild of Newsom supporters, and it will be paid for with private funds they will raise, said Newsom. It has been in the works for a few years, but no one's worked on it. It's been an idea that's been floating around, he says. He doesn't even know who those supporters and fundraisers are. Now, remember that
bitch.
statement. Remember that quote. Keep it in your mind as I give you more details of this story, because that information is going to come in handy in a little bit. So at the same time, Newsom also said, I don't want to call it embarrassing, but it's a strange thing. I'm just awkward about it. But now the word is out.
What a
Embarrassing. He's so humble. This is so embarrassing for him. Like,
What a
he's such a snake.
jackass.
Okay, so here's the bust. It's as ugly
Look at how
as his political
That's really, really stupid. I find it weird that as Anna Kasparian
Yeah, it
is
is
saying
pretty
that Gavin
stupid.
Newsom is saying that his
that,
supporters
Ron?
came up with this is the brainchild of his supporters. Who is a Gavin Newsom supporter? Like I've never ran into one in real life or online. I've never ran into someone who like really supports and defends the things that Gavin Newsom has done. You know, Anna Kasparian and the Young Turks, they're a leftist organization. They hate at Gavin Newsom. They're always hating on Gavin Newsom. This is one of the more like overt, clips that I've seen of Anna Kasparian going after Gavin Newsom, but they've never really said much positive about him, And I've never really seen, honestly, obviously I don't watch them very much, but I've never honestly seen Sam Cedar or Emma Vigeland or any other leftist, David Pakman, Destiny. I've never seen any of them say, I love Gavin Newsom so much. In fact, I've never seen them really say that about any leftist leader outside of presidents. And they only say that about leftist presidents in the lead up to an election. After they actually run the country for a while, nobody really likes these leftist leaders anymore. And it's just so wild to me that, you know, even though Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur and these sorts of people and Destiny, like all these people that I just listed off,
in Michigan for some
they never
reason.
really like and defend these leftist leaders after a while, right? After they get elected. And they continue to vote for them. And it's crazy because there's not really a leftist out there that is defended by leftists that is already elected. And it's because of what I always talk about, and that the left has no morals and no principles. They only care about winning. The only thing that they care about is winning. So once they win the election, it normally is detrimental to whatever area they won the election in. And what's funny is the left recognizes that after the fact. And they always complain about the leftist leadership, and yet they still vote leftist.
Man, this guy's just telling us what the fuck we already know. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I hear you. So is that bust to him bronze?
Yeah, he paid for $100,000
Fucking nuts.
and then pretended other people paid for it.
Some fucking.
Here's some news. Trump signed executive orders dismantling.
Donald
7
Trump has
federal
signed
agencies.
an executive order which effectively dismantles 7 federal agencies, which are costing the U.S. taxpayers over $1.6 billion a year. And naturally, the left is outraged. This is an article from The Hill, which is discussing this issue. This is written by Alex Gangitano, or whatever. And it's titled, Trump Signs Order to Dismantle 7 Federal Agencies Focused on Media, Libraries, and Homelessness. Uh-oh. President Trump on Friday signed an executive order that aims to eliminate 7 federal agencies, including ones that focus on media, libraries, museums, and ending homelessness. The president directed the government entities to, quote, be eliminated to the maximum extent consistent with applicable law, insisting that they reduce the
Voice of
performance of the
America
statutory functions
fucking killing.
and associated personnel. It ordered the heads of each entity to submit a report to the Office of Management and Budget,
Oh, the CIA
confirming full
fucking
compliance
shit, you know that?
within just 7 days. The president targeted the U.S. Agency of Global Media, which is the parent company of Voice of America's, or VOA, as well as the Woodrow Wilson International Center for Scholars in the Smithsonian Institution, which is a think tank,
CIA.
and the Institute of Museum and Library Services, which is an agency that supports libraries, archives, and museums in every
CIA.
state. The Hill goes on to write that the Trump administration has been focused on an overhaul of the federal government, with tech billionaire Elon Musk tasked with finding ways to cut spending and workers. Court issued orders Thursday halting the mass dismissals, which will get overturned eventually, but it's corrupt courts doing their thing. And the White House, of course, on Friday vowed to appeal the federal court's ruling, which has required the Trump
last ones
administration
they've
to
won. These-
reinstate
they keep
probationary
doing this, they
government
keep winning.
employees. So
All they're doing
let's
is
take a
slowing down the
closer look at
inevitable.
these 7 agencies and why is Donald Trump dismantling them? So let's start with the
Y'all
big one,
suck.
the USAGM. This is costing the U.S. taxpayers $950 million a
Holy
year. The
fuck.
USAGM is a so-called
what?
independent federal agency which oversees U.S. government-funded international broadcasting. Its supposed mission, which was rooted in the U.S. International Broadcasting Act of 1994, is to inform, engage, and connect to people around the world in support of freedom and democracy. My, those are flowery words, and don't they sound nice? Now, this agency manages 5 networks: Voice of America, or the VOA, Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, Radio Free Asia, Middle East Broadcasting Networks, and the Office of Cuba
Those are all fronts
Broadcasting.
for CIA.
Boy.
We know that,
Now,
right?
these outlets broadcast in 63
Yeah.
languages, and they claim that they reach about 427 million people weekly
people that
across
told me
100
that they
countries.
serve
But
there
is
and
this
there's,
claim true? And is this investment really worth it?
all bullshit.
When we take a look closer at this, we find that the audience numbers that supposedly exist are self-reported and almost impossible to verify independently. So this 427 million weekly is suspect at best. This seems like a boondoggle written all over it. This is the federal government after all. I mean, are we even swaying anyone from these countries to suddenly decide that, hey, democracy, that's it for me? Are we reaching people? I bet you'd be hard-pressed to find any real tangible evidence of this. Worse still, back in 2021, the GAO reportedly flagged weak oversight of its grantees. Surprise, surprise. And at the time, there were millions of dollars being wasted on internal probes. And if that wasn't enough, this propaganda agency has also been accused of left-wing bias, of being a left-wing propaganda rag. For example, The Voice of America, their English language content has long covered U.S. social issues, accusing the U.S. of racial inequality, pushing out climate change propaganda. They were pro-illegal immigration, and so much more. The VOA even did puff pieces for the hate group Black Lives Matter and their protests, trying to justify their hate, their racism, and violence by making claims that the U.S. was systemic in its racism. They gave airtime to these BLM hate group activists while giving much less airtime to law and order counterparts. Similarly, climate stories often leaned on IPCC reports or the Greta Thunberg type voices, rarely giving skeptics airtime. The bottom line is this agency is not a friend of the U.S., at least not the U.S. and a piece, an arm for the growing socialist-leaning left within our country. It's a tool that has been used to blast our own country as racist and bad, which then brings us back to the question of why are we paying for this garbage? And it appears that Donald Trump was thinking the same thing,
money off
so
the
it's
top.
getting
You gotta
the
know that
ads.
too, right?
Next up, let's look at the Minority Business Development Agency, another one of the agencies that Trump has gotten rid of here. They receive $12 million a year in funding. Now, this is the year 2025, my friends, not 1960. Why are we putting up with federal agencies basing their funding on racial lines? Race should have no basis ever for any federal assistance. Not ever. It's time to end this ridiculous nonsense that continually and perpetually divides the country with racial division and hate. We should all be Americans, not Black Americans, not white Americans, not Asian Americans, just Americans.
We used to
this
be.
kind of BS does not belong in this country. And I'm sick and tired of federal dollars by our federal government playing a role in continuing to divide Americans in our country.
It ain't
It's
us,
tired.
man.
It's played
fucking
out,
women.
and it needs to stop. And surprise, surprise, the Trump administration is seeing this
Hopefully
program
people
for
start
what it
waking
really
up.
is.
They're saying right
It's
now
just
that there's only
another
a couple blue
DEI
spots
program.
left in here.
And so Trump is giving it the axe. And of course, Democrats and those who obsess over race argue that this is a necessary program because it levels the playing field for so-called historically disadvantaged groups. But that's just the bigotry of low expectations. The idea that you are a lesser than. You are someone who can't succeed because you happen to be born to a race that just can't rise to the top. It's all utter nonsense. It's BS. But it is the kind of propaganda that the left has been using for the better part of a century to divide Americans. Then there is the Community Development Financial Institutions Fund, or the CDFI, which receives $330 million a year in funding. The CDFI officially aims to expand economic opportunity in underserved
he's gonna have us
communities, often low-income or rural areas, by supporting financial institutions like credit unions and loan funds. Now, this program isn't explicitly race-based, as their mission is to focus on underserved, but in the era of DEI, that almost always seems to turn into some racial nonsense. The CDFI is just taxpayer money being put into a centralized program, which almost surely is going to be full of waste and bloat. It would be much better to get the DC bureaucracy out of all of this. States. If it's not a core federal duty, why in the world are we paying for this? Critics, though, would argue that the lack of resources or the will to fill the gap, like homelessness funding, for instances, often leans on federal dollars, rather than the states fixing their own problems. Then we have the United States Interagency Council on Homelessness. Speaking of homelessness, they have a budget of $4 million a year. Now, I have to ask, why on earth do we need another agency to fight our so-called war on poverty? We already have this giant program where we have spent trillions of
lost the war
dollars
on
to
poverty,
end
you know
poverty
that?
ever since
we
Lyndon
did.
Johnson's Great Society kickoff back in 1960.
Made it worse.
And yet nothing ever seems to change. We only have greater and greater problems. The federal government, my friends, is run by a bunch of feckless, useless idiots, especially when it comes to solving our poverty issue. They don't know what they're doing, and it's time to stop giving them the money to do this. It is time to return this war on poverty back to the states and let them hash it out individually. Stealing endlessly from the American people at large to fix this problem has done nothing but run up the national debt. It doesn't solve anything. It doesn't help anybody. It's just a waste of money. And worse, it's propping up government unions who have agendas of their own. And so on and
Unions
on
are
it
done.
goes
They
with
used to
these
be good, but
programs.
now they don't do
They're
shit
all
for anybody, you know
wasteful,
that?
top-down command and
Yep.
control federal government spending, which we don't
They
need
help
to be
people
doing.
that
We
can't
don't need to be
fucking
giving
work.
money to these agencies anymore. The bottom line to all of this, my friends, is this. I'm going to use the term systemic for once in a way that actually makes sense. These programs are but a microcosm, a small slice of a massive federal pie that embodies the endless gluttony and greed of a federal government that knows no bounds. It is a systemic waste that is strangling the American citizen with endless calls for more taxes, like that of the doofus Bernie Sanders, who never stops his cries to tax more millionaires and
Billionaires.
billionaires as if we need more taxes. We don't need more taxes. We need less spending. The reality is, my friends, if
we
we
just
kicked
proved
the
what they
federal
were
government
doing, you
out
know
of
that?
most of its
All their bullshit telling us
Sure.
we're gonna have to raise all this, we're gonna have to cut unemployment. They didn't have to do fuck, you know that?
Nope.
Give us what the fuck they should have from the go, but they're nothing but criminal pieces of shit. I want to thank everybody for coming, and thank you for coming, Mossy. We'll be here on Wednesday, and we'll
Oh,
be
yeah.
doing some more dirt on something.
I'll be here with you.
All right, we're gonna start out with Terry Bozzio on a solo, and then him playing on his fucking kit that's made out of nothing but cymbals. It's fucking insane. Wait till you see this shit coming up in a minute. But I just want to show you. Terry Bozzio, he was a drummer for Frank Zappa and Jeff Beck. And he's the shit. I've seen him a bunch of times. And Missing Persons, that's his wife. That hot blonde.
Yeah.
Wow, everybody.
Wow.
Hail Mo, hail Jack, hail Grim, hail
Y'all have a good night.
Look at this kid, man. This gives a fucking professor from Russia run for the money, I think.
That's crazy.
When it stops, I'll show you something. He's got a rototom. You know what rototoms are?
No.
Well, we'll cover that next on Wednesday. They're adjustable drums with just with the heads, and they got this bass that screws, and that's what tightens it up. He's got just the bass screwed together. Right. Oh shit! He just had it up. Right there. Can you see these right over his shoulder?
Yeah.
Those are two rototom basses screwed together, and he's using them for like a bell.
Huh.
I'll let this play out, and then wait till you see this kit with the fucking cymbals. Here comes a good part.
you.